never going to come to an end, but you know, every good thing definitely comes to an end. When we come back again on Monday, we'll be breathing into a new month, but that's that for later. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Culture Daily. The name is Jay Foley. Yes, and we're here to spend some time with you to give you the best of breakfast. Okay, now, yesterday we had a great conversation about nightlife in Accra. Well, if you missed out on it, go back on our social media platforms. Facebook, it's +899, or you can check 899 FM, or you can check it out on Instagram on 3 Music networks, as well as 3 Music on our Facebook platforms, okay? And that's, you can just throw back the conversation. It was so exciting, I tell you what. We had an amazing time understanding the nightlife culture in Accra. But anyway, we'll get into that discussion later on. Welcome to the show one more time, and I'm here with my team as well. Ladies and gentlemen, say a big welcome to my team. An amazing team.
Yeah, Lenny, looking good.
Thanks.
Oh, don't man salute.
T for thanks.
Don't man salute at all. Cross the leg, let me see something. Just cross one. What's good, people?
Yeah, what's good. Look, I mean, yesterday's nightlife conversation was just was off the heezy for sheezy, you know.
What does that mean?
I mean, it was rolling on.
Is that lingua from like the 90s or the 80s?
Oh, don't do that.
She said that.
She said that. Okay.
I know. Yesterday I was very happy after the conversation, because the conversation was fun.
Yeah.
And then I called wifey after, and I was like, "Oh, did you tune in?" And she was like, "Not for all of it." And I was like, great.
You wanted to be sure you're safe.
I wanted to be sure I could go home.
Yeah. But it was really good. I mean, it just gave us a very clear idea of the kind of nightlife in Accra, as well as the business opportunity that it presents. You know, one thing we did take from the conversation was the fact that, you know, it's through nightlife activities from these plugs, you know, and the organizers that has created this December in Ghana, you know, movement. And it is pretty awesome that...
They're like the foundation.
The foundation, you know. And Johnny Stone, you know, when I posed a question to him regarding what would be his wish list, you know, from state institutions, and he was asking for, you know, more certain measures to be put in place so that, one, safety is guaranteed, you know, in the running around in the evening. That's very, very good.
Important.
And, you know, just harness the opportunity that it presents to us. You know, it was exciting. Exciting. Wow, nightlife in Accra. But anyway, there are more trends on the show that we'll be discussing. Look, we're still making a follow-up with Kirani
Ayat.
Kirani Ayat. Yes, Kirani Ayat. Is that his real name?
Yep.
Kirani Ayat. I love it. I wish I could steal it. Hey, copyright issues.
You are not even announcing the theft. I wish I could steal it. That's what they play back to you in court. Your Honor, exhibit A. Boom.
Exactly.
I wish I could steal it.
Exactly.
I'm not saying. I just love the name Kirani Ayat.
Yes.
You know, it's a really nice. I'm sure he's in North now, right?
He's North here. Yaron Zamani.
Yeah, I think Northerners have got beautiful names.
Unique, actually, very unique names.
You know,
very unique names.
It's very. How do I say it?
Native.
Englishist. It's very native, yeah.
So, quick updates on that story as well. You know, there's been a back and forth between the GTA and Kirani Ayat's lawyers as well. And where it stands at yesterday, there was a conversation between the Ghana Tourism Authority CEO that he mentioned to the public, on Joy 99.7 FM. He did, to credit the source, that they had discussions with a lawyer. However, the request that Kirani's lawyers are making is above, it's above him. So it has to be taken to the next level. And he had also asked him to pull down the tweet, you know, as it was insulting to the office of the president, as the president is not in the know of, you know, the nitty-gritty details. But for him at that level, it was a matter of sharing it. But even in that, it brings about the conversation that people in the value chain didn't do their work right, before this went out. Because if equally the president's office has to be safeguarded, then some of these questions must be asked by people who play key role in the president's media entourage. You know?
I mean, the president directly wouldn't know, but I mean, someone should have informed him. Like he said, the value chain, it should go through that process for people to know, okay, this is what's on ground before things like this are put out. It's rather unfortunate how everything has happened, but let's see how things pan out.
But even Fuse ODG had even more footage in the video. You know, Fuse, is it Brefier? Yeah, is it Brefier video?
No, I don't remember.
I saw some other allegations of
the video
of fufu.
The video,
the fufu with the green was just taken off Google.
Of somebody's
website.
And even stated is the first picture you see on Google. So people were saying, yes.
So you could have even gone to like page 20.
Exactly. You didn't even stress to go through.
I mean, if I were in the office of the presidency, one of the very first lessons we're going to learn from this is now, henceforth, if anything is going to go out, we need to make these checks. You know? But like we say, we all learn from our mistakes. You know, and Fuse ODG's press release out there because his footage was in there. There was even more of his footage in there than Ayat's footage, you know. And he said that these are some of the things that, you know, government has to look at critically, especially the ministry, before they start putting these things out, you know. And I mean, I can just imagine the hell that this whole thing has brought.
It also tells us that we don't take creative arts products as capital investments. Because it's a financial cost to whoever created the original image, and you wouldn't spend money on something and I'll just take it. But we're so free to just take creative things because we fail to see that money goes into creating those beautiful pictures. Money goes into creating. I mean, look at Yao Pare, rest in peace, Bob Pixel. The great photography that we have, and the people who have invested. Like I've known some of Bob's stories. I've met him several times, and when he's telling his stories, Bob knocked engine off a road top in search of beautiful shots. Engine gearbox issues, had to send a gearbox from Accra and a mechanic to fix in the bush somewhere just to get back to Accra. The struggle, and then he puts a picture up, and then somebody just takes it and.
Yeah, it's just shared disrespect or negligence or ignorance is one of these three, which, I mean,
it's all.
When we are talking about these things, I'm very emotional about it to an extent because as creatives, it could easily happen to any of us. It could be your voice, it could be your image, it could be something that you
use this voice on TikTok.
Who?
Are you talking to them?
No, TikTok allows it. That's why it's happening. TikTok allows it. So I'm just saying, like, it's really sad. It's really sad. And you know what happened yesterday? Like, there were so many people who were coming out to, you know, call out people who haven't paid them for creative works done, people who haven't acknowledge their works used, and I like that. It will keep people on their toes. At least now you know that, okay, I can't just pick someone's work without having to, you know, acknowledge source, which is very important.
I hope corporate Ghana is paying attention and is listening, because what the genesis of the problem is that the agencies or the outfits that do work for these end users, which are the clients, the businesses, don't necessarily have the power to bill for some things because the end user doesn't really understand. Do you get it? If I was to charge 5,000 cedis a month for your image, right? The client who needs your image will say it's too expensive. But why? The blah, 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 blah. But now that the conversation is being had at the level of the presidency, and we have the tourist association involved and the blah, 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 they need to pay attention as well. Corporate Ghana is also a big corporate of this. I mean, I won't name anybody on air, but corporate Ghana, the amount of backdoor lawsuits and releases and model fees they've had to pay over. Like, I know of people whose images have been used without their knowledge, that have to go and fight with a lawyer and get paid behind. We are going to take this conversation again into our Studio 899, but this morning on Big Conversation, there's something interesting that we are going to be focusing on. We're going to be focusing on Ghanaian comedy. And I'm very sure, you know, maybe if you haven't had a chance to go see some of the Ghanaian comedians perform, I'm telling you, you have missed out on a lot because now these guys have raised a bar. But we'll get into that later on. But right now, let's start off the show with a better greeting with our song of the day.
is our song of the day, or more like song of the morning. I love it. Now, this was shot during the time of the lockdown, and I think it was very innovative from Kiddy, Say Cheese, and this song just went viral because people were home, people wanted activity, people were tired, and this song just nailed it. I mean, guys, what do you think about it? The video, I think he pulled it off himself.
The video was dope, yeah.
I had no idea about all that. I'm now even more impressed.
Really?
Yeah. I thought it was just a song that was purposely shot like that.
No.
Sometimes people do that. They like the grainy, lo-fi effect to it. But I mean, hearing that
it was during lockdown. It was during lockdown, and what I like is they were able to get all these other girls in it. It wasn't just him. Now we know that the lockdown
the girls
also
are very beautiful.
I agree with you. We know that the lockdown also brought about, challenges and trends and all of that. So you see some of the girls do the transitions and all of that in it. I think it brings together the video very nicely, and he did a good job with the video.
Wow.
And the
Kiddy
song,
it's real. We like this job we choose. Yeah, we not choose the right career.
I don't want to talk about the girls.
Why? Why don't you want to talk about the girls?
Because he's asked her to tune in this morning, so we have to maintain a strict culture. Definitely Culture Daily. Well, don't forget, we're still live on Plus 89.9 FM if you're listening to us there. Good morning going out to you. And hey, have you had a chance to go watch any of the Ghanaian comedians perform? We'd love to hear from your experience, so share with us on our social media. What about you guys? Have you had anyone, have you seen any of them perform?
Yeah.
I've been to those 1,000 Laugh, 2001, 2002.
But even those were a mixture of Nigerian and Ghanaian.
Anyway.
Even that also brought up some discussions because it was mainly Nigerians. Nigerians were the headliners. But yeah, we have Foster Romanus, Clemento Charez. They do really well as well.
I did witness one of the Nights of 1,000 and something, and then it was a Funny Face. Oh my days, man! I applaud that rise of Funny Face and that moment, man.
I miss Funny Face.
Cracked he made me crack, literally break
literally
the ring. Like, I don't know, man. Like, when he just came on that time, he had the swag on, that's jargon that he used to use, and that was funny.
Swagon Papa, yeah.
Papa, when now he changed to Kaswa Van Dam.
Yeah.
Man, shouts to you, Funny Face. Hey, bro. He's definitely going to be on a certain show, I think this weekend or so. Yes,
really?
He's on one of the shows. The shows. I think it's today. Yes.
Oh.
But too cute to be mute.
All the comedians are cute, apparently.
So we will be doing that. Okay, so all this lined up for you this morning in our conversations as well. But anyway, back to Kiddy's video on the song of the day. I love that video. Marvelous. Let's go check out the trivia on this song.
I have to go and add one more view to the video streams.
Yeah. No, but
do,
I mean, I like the fact that it's centered on a lot of women, and it just shows the beauty. Somebody would say Jay is talking too much about women.
I was going to say that. Do you really like the fact that it's centered on women, or you like the women that you're seeing, the beauty you're seeing in the video?
When you praise women, they look at you different. When you don't praise them, they say this. So
I'm only asking a question. I was
going to ask why there are no handsome guys saying cheese.
Exactly.
You can, okay, so the two of you, what you can do, the two of you, please, let's do a remake of Say Cheese. Let's go.
No, because
you can bring together, two of your male friends.
Let me critique the video a little.
guys, you're tired of having Kanye in the news. Oh,
yes.
this is for a good reason.
There has to be some other news.
No, this is not. It's not a bad thing at all. It's actually for a really good reason. So,
we are listening.
And then Lexi the comic as well. He has his show coming up today. So we are going to be touching on that. Now I know that coming up, as creatives, you've done a few free shows for people, free everything, free voice, free work for people. And he says he's tired of it. So I'm going to be, gisting you on the story later on in the show, as well as talking about Daddy Lumba, who a comedian, says that he was the one who started TikTok trends, right? Now, no, hold on. I'll explain that story later on, okay? So yes, if you don't understand it, just stop using your eyes to talk to me. Cyril is just here talking to me with his eyes. Okay. But anyway, yeah. And then also we'll talk about other stories. Steph London, this story is very emotional for me, but anyway, we'll talk about that all in Unpacking and Trending Live.
All right, Cyril, that sounds like I like the way Lenny's presenting the the information. She's like slow and
she's not even going in depth.
Like she's just touching herself. I don't know whether you're falling in love with them or something like that.
Hold on, I'll go in there.
This is the Kanye I'm suspicious of.
Why? No, it looks like the gentlemen in here are just swoon with how I talk. You guys are so swoon. How do you want me to talk? So
Englishist.
Englishist.
Yeah, more stories to come. Cyril, what's cooking in the world of sports?
Boxing, there's football, there's a little jealousy. And then besides that, there's some sumo wrestling, which is a very niche sport. And the last people you'd expect to be sumo wrestling. Very interesting. We'll get into that.
Definitely getting into all of this, but Starter Pack is coming up next. Let's get you some motivation.
Yeah.
One of my favorites as well, and I know Cyril will be reading the tree, the tree on the starter pack this morning.
On Monday we are going to have an Ewe song, and Jay is going to read this.
Jay is going to read, yes. The Ewe who doesn't speak Ewe. Monday, you're going to read it.
My Ewe is unique.
Okay.
Yes.
It's unique.
Okay.
Oh, it's impeccable.
Okay.
Yes, it's impeccable.
Don't worry, Monday we'll see.
Oh,
say this in Ewe. Okay.
I signed up for an English show.
Hold on. When I woke up this morning, I went to take my bath. Say it in Ewe.
No, until the CEO grants me permission.
Yeah. And HR.
It has to go through a long chain of
a long process.
Emails. Yes,
I'll send an email. Don't worry. I'll send an email.
Well, let's get the lyrics back on the screen. So just believe it, don't ever give up. Even if your dreams are bigger than that of Martin Luther's, well, all you need is to speed up. No matter the circumstances, don't worry. Yeah, God is in control. Don't let your fears pull you down. When I had no hope, I still knew that I deserved the crown. Well, and I hand over the tree to Lenny.
Okay. So reading it in Chi says, "Oda esono so say Martin Luther cry. Dia here say brother man for speed up. bibi na wo femwa e mane ha okra emra na mini ni da so we as still me
to do some wild motivation and inspiration in their music as well, and music goes a long way. Like they say, it's the food for the soul. So once the soul is being motivated, hey, bigger things to come. There is more to come on the show as well. We're going into unpacking with Lenny right about now. I can't wait for that Kanye story again to see what this boy's been up to.
He said this boy, wow.
Yeah.
Please, can you give Ye the reference that you give to Jay? Yeah, Ye.
So
please give Ye the reverence you give to Jay. Just a little bit of it, if not full.
Don't let us start. You can't compare Kanye West.
I'm not comparing. No, I'm not. That's why I said give him like some reverence, just
Kanye
a bit.
Is a small boy when it comes to music.
Just a bit of it. But yeah, Ye is in the news this time talking about his daughter and how much he believes in him, and then also Steph London. The whole genesis of this last song that has now blown and taken over the world. Let's talk about it, okay? On Unpacking, coming up soon. is always in the news, just like Cyril did when I mentioned Kanye being in the news. Well, this time he's in the news talking about his first daughter, okay? And he's entrusting things to her and saying that, oh, he really believes in her, you know, carrying the torch for the family. So before I come back to talk about it, there's a video to this. Let's go watch. Interview on ABC News with Lindsay Davis. Now, I feel like it's a good thing. It's a good thing identifying, you know, your child that can carry forward or push your brand through to make sure that, you know, your legacy doesn't die. It's okay. But, you know, there's this conversation on social media. It's really common how they say that the first child, right, carry so much on their heads, especially if it's a woman. It even gets worse, and this is a very typical example because she's only 9. She's only 9. Like I said, it's a good thing that he's identified it, but I feel like he should just take his time and relax, right? Yeah, teach them young and all of that, but she's too young to carry this burden. Come on, we are talking about a multi-million franchise and businesses put together, right? They should just take their time. She should just grow and be properly groomed so that she'll be able to properly handle these businesses, okay? Now, talking about properly handling things, one thing that didn't happen with these superstars, right? They couldn't properly handle their relationship. Now, Stefflon Don has come out to say that Burna Boy lied. This is the whole genesis of, you know, the song Last Last, which had everybody go chop breakfast. Breakfast in this song means heartbreak. Now, people didn't even understand this initially. They thought breakfast meant actual breakfast, right? So yes, she had an interview where she, you know, poured out her heart and said that she actually wanted to marry Burna. Well, I liked them together. They looked really good together. But did you think that Stefflon Don and Burna Boy were going to end up married? You can share this with us on our socials. It's +89.9 on Facebook. Find us also on Facebook, 3 Music, and then on Instagram and Twitter, 3 Music Networks, and +899 FM, okay? But that's a video to this. Enjoy.
But my husband did that in Paris, so he did like the whole itinerary. We went to the Eiffel Tower to the top at that restaurant.
Nice.
That was
cute.
good. That was cute, right? And then their food was okay. I enjoyed it.
That's cute. Hopefully one day I can do that with somebody.
Mm-hmm. Damn, I was gonna save that conversation for later, but let's dive on in. So you and your last boyfriend, we all know, Burna Boy, no longer together.
Oh, you just dropped it like that?
I'm just gonna drop it like that. I mean, we might as well dive right on into it. So what happened? Do you want to talk about it? You could say TT no.
TT, we're not gonna talk about it.
Okay.
No, we just, we was together for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked y'all together.
I know everybody says that, but
You had to move on.
Yeah, we had to move on.
Do you think he's talking about you with that new song he got?
What do you think?
I think so.
You think that?
I think it's about you. The Tony Braxton sample
is what it is.
When you hear it, did you want to call him up like, what the blood clot?
No, what the blood clot. When I heard it, how did I feel? He said something in there that I was like, boy, that's a lie, but whatever. Yeah, it's whatever. It's whatever.
It's whatever. You over it.
Yeah.
So, what are you looking for now? Are you just looking to date, or are you just looking to have fun?
So I've been single for... People don't know that we've actually broken up for a year now.
Wow.
People don't know that because I guess they still thought we was together when we wasn't. I haven't dated since. Like, no one. I haven't even been out on a date. Like, no one's even...
But you're so beautiful. I'm sure you get, like, tons of DMs and...
I mean, DMs. Yeah.
Athletes, basketball players.
I mean...
anybody.
Do you know what it is? I have a problem. I'm just a lover, and I just like love.
What's your sign?
I'm a Sag.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know how to like go out with a guy without thinking, I'm gonna marry you. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know how to just be on that. I feel like I'm wasting my time. Like I'm busy. Like I do a lot. I look after my whole family. So it's like if I go on a date, in my head I'm like, shit, I could have been in the studio. Shit, I could have been. So it's
you want
like,
it to be real.
It has to be worth it. Like I have to be seeing a future with you, which I feel like that's really annoying of me. I think that's so annoying. Because all my friends, they be going out, chilling,
just having a good time.
Stuff. And I'm like, I don't talk to nobody. I don't do nothing. My little sister was even saying, you're boring as hell. I'm like, girl, I just work.
Would you want to date an industry guy again, or would you want to try something different?
Not in music. I'm all right with that. No. Anything else, but not music,
Yeah.
Please, I need tissue because I won't cry. See how beautiful Steph London is. See how beautiful this girl is, like literally from head to toe. And sometimes you wonder, like, what do men exactly want? What do you guys want? Can you just drop down a scroll for us so that we know what exactly you want from us, right? I mean, well, it's rather unfortunate that their relationship, ended the way it did. But I'm happy she's living, even though she hasn't dated and all of that since their breakup. At least she's looking fine and fire, and she's going to definitely meet who she deserves to end up with. Okay, moving on to my last story. I'm talking about Lexi the comic. Now, if you're creative, you have, by all means, done free jobs one way or the other. Okay, either you're using your intellect or you're using your physical strength, and then people are going to just see you off with thank yous, right? And say, oh, you hear from us, which you never do. Now, Lexi the comic has said that he's done with free shows. This is because when you're hot, the industry, comes to you and wants you to do free things for them. But at the point you stop being hot, they leave you. And when that happens, they leave you high and dry, literally, because when you were hot, you were just doing free. And then when you go cold, they don't come to you anymore. They don't give you any money. Nothing happens. So that means that you've just, lived a useless life, quote unquote. That's not what he said. That's what I am saying. Because in the end, people will say, oh, I've seen you do this work. I've seen you do that work. I've seen you do that work. How come you have nothing to show for it? But there's a video to this. Enjoy.
Every time we hear this whole ecosystem in the entertainment industry, and every time when you hear entertainment pundits or event organizers get the opportunity to talk to the public about how this ecosystem is supposed to work, they keep saying that artists are supposed to support event organizers and event organizers are supposed to support artists so that we can all collectively benefit. It's a good point. But one thing too I have observed about this industry is when you are in your prime, and you decide to do a lot of favors in this industry, when the shine goes down, trust me, they will move on to the next person. Meaning, whatever you did, thinking that the industry will pay you back in the same measure, you won't get it. And there are a lot of examples like the Ebusumpe Young, Nana Boro. So all these guys who came into the scene, if they didn't make all the money they needed to make during their prime, charge what is due them. The event organizers are still organizing their events, but the artists are nowhere to be found. So if I'm an artist, sometimes you feel like, no, I will not be here for long. And because, yes, let's be frank with us, not every one of us will actually stay here for the long term. So if you are not able to make all you need to make during the period where you are in your prime, and you try to like be all considerate to event organizers, the industry will pay you back in the same measure. You won't get it. And there are a lot of examples like the Ebusum Peyong, Nana Boro. So all these guys who came into the scene, if they didn't make all the money they needed to make during their prime, charge what is due them. The event organizers are still organizing their events, but the artists are nowhere to be found. So if I'm an artist, sometimes you feel like, no, I will not be here for long. And because, yes, let's be frank with us, not every one of us will actually stay here for the long term. So if you are not able to make all you need to make during the period where you are in your prime, and you try to like be all considerate to event organizers. I remember when Kumerica was huge. Kumerica was huge. Everybody wanted to use them for their shows and all that. But now, how many of them are being built for shows with the tag Kumerica? Nobody even cares about them. So I feel, yes, genuine concerns from the event organizers and everything. But artists too, sometimes we also look out for our welfare, because this industry we find ourselves, tomorrow is not guaranteed. That's my little concern, basically.
And I agree with Lexi the comic on this. Listen, I think that we should make it, a focal point to actually pay creators and pay creatives, right? Because this is how they feed. This is how they move about. Imagine that they invite you to a show to even come and perform for them. They're not paying for your outfit. They're not paying for transportation. They're not paying for anything. What they just say is a thank you, and they leave you to go. How do you expect the person to feed? I mean, even we're talking about bills and all of that. The person can't just walk into, a power supply office and say, oh, I performed this show for free, so please give me power for free. Or walk into Ghana Water and say that, oh, I played the show for free, so please reduce my utility bill, or give me free water, right? Food, all of these things is really, really important. Please, let's do better. Let us do better. I mean, this is where Cyril says corporate Ghana has a major role to play when it comes to these things, and it trickles down. So from corporate Ghana, event organizers, friends and family, most importantly. Okay, the person is related to you. Okay, the person is your friend. Doesn't mean the person shouldn't feed. These things are really, really personal to me. Really personal to me, because people do it a lot. So please, at least pay the person. Even if you want to agree on a discount, that is fine. But asking totally free, it's really difficult on the person, and it makes you come across as very inconsiderate and ignorant of the times, the seasons and the times. But yes, that is what Lexi the comic had to say. Now he has a show later on today, Too Cute to Be Mute, which will have a lot of other comedians in performance. So yes, just look out for that and attend if you can. But we have Lexi later on the show as well. This has been Unpacking. Remember that you can get interactive with us on all of our socials, okay? Find us on TikTok at 3 Music Lifestyle. On Snapchat is 3 Music Live. On Instagram and Instagram and Twitter rather is 3 Music Networks. And then on Facebook is only 3 Music, as well as +899 on Facebook, +899 FM on TikTok and Instagram as well. I'll catch you on Monday with more stories on Unpacking. Jay and Cyril, what do you have for us?
Well, thank you very much, Lenny, and great points shared with regards to creative arts industry being paid value for service, and it's something that I think we have been battling for years.
For years.
It's painful to finish the video and then they ask for discounts.
Man. I don't know which plumber or mason would, you can argue a discount on the cost of materials.
After it's
that
done.
doesn't change.
It doesn't change.
You know, it doesn't change. I always also fight back with things like when you want a creative person to do something for you, he or she does a service, and after the payment becomes a problem. You know, and the companies will tell it goes through procurement and blah blah blah.
No, when the tap 60 days, so
when the tap
and
when the tap
even after the
bursts,
60 days,
you don't wait 30 days.
you don't wait 30 days to fix it. You know, that's
Like, it doesn't
my
even-
point
oh.
all the time. But anyway,
It's
Lenny,
sad.
thank you so much. Lenny's back again to give us more on our trending live. But coming up next, we'll be jumping into some more sports stories. See what you were saying earlier on.
Fist up. We're going to have some boxing news, more football issues, and then the World Cup updates, and then something quite interesting going down in Japan.
Wow, I can't wait to hear that Japan story. All right, sports plus more coming up next right here on Culture Daily.
What's good, people? We're still on Culture Daily, Sports Direct coming to you. The name is Serial. Now, we're going to go back into the football conversation, and there's a scandal brewing in PSG that we don't really want to talk about. Kylian Mbappe, the man, or should I say the youngster, who's been slated to be the most paid footballer in history, is currently doing a little too much politicking when it comes to his relationship with his other players on the team. Now, it's been stated that Kylian Mbappe has gone outright to declare, quote-unquote, war on Brazilian star Neymar. Yes, Mbappe and Neymar are not seeing eye to eye, and it's degenerating to the point where they are having outward utterances towards each other and sharing their negative feelings towards each other, which is definitely going to affect the entire team. Now, this is something that you don't want in your team. You don't want it in any kind of teamwork, any kind of organization. Now, the rumor is that the negative stuff started from Neymar's side on the cuff of PSG shoveling out all that money to ensure that Mbappe doesn't sign with Real Madrid. Well, that might be a rumor, it might be an allegation, but whatever it is, the outcome is not going how we need it to, because PSG is currently at the top of their game, the lineup is superb, and the last thing they need now is a leaky boat, because then they're all going down. Now, still on football, good news for England fans. Qatar 2022 has figured out a way to provide 17 hours where all football fans can enjoy their favorite alcoholic beverages. Yes, so those of you who are making your way to Qatar 2022, there's no problem. You can pour up as much as you want. So from 10 a.m. till 3 a.m., you're going to have access to alcohol anywhere you like, so long as you are within the special designated area where they'll be having the viewings of all the qualifying, all the stage matches. Now, the stage matches are going to be viewed privately by the company that puts together the Glastonbury Festival. Yes, they've been contracted to create a special arena where the football fans can go, enjoy their alcohol, and then also watch the match. Now, this kind of looks like a herding mentality where they're creating a box to make sure that everybody who's going to be intoxicated, might get rowdy or might misbehave is within the same area. Kudos to the management of Qatar 2022 and the organizing team for coming up with this. Now, it's not just going to be watching football. They are bringing together pop and techno stars from all across the world to simulate a scenario that's going to be the most amazing, as they put it, for football fans who are going to be there at that moment. Now, moving on, we're going back to boxing. Now, Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. Well, December 3rd is going to be a night to remember. They are going to have a championship bout, and one of those gentlemen is not going to enjoy their Christmas, because these are two giants who have had a long history of back and forth, and by all indications, December 3rd, we're going to hear the bell ring, and we are going to start with the bout. Now, let's cut into the insert to hear everything that has to do with this upcoming bout.
Right, Anthony Joshua, where do we start? So, the deadline was Monday. Frank Warren asked me and convinced me to let it carry on for another couple of days. Today's Thursday. And even though I knew you wouldn't sign this contract, I allowed Frank to continue doing meetings with your team and your broadcasters and all that. Now we have BT, DAZN and ESPN all on the same page. They are happy with everything. They're all happy, ready to rock and roll. You guys asked for a lot of stuff. You wanted to be co-promoters when you're a voluntary challenger. Guess what? I said, give it on. Let them be co-promoters. You wanted full transparency, even though you are not an equal shareholder in this party. Do you know what I said? Give them full transparency. I've got nothing to hide. I'm not trying to rob anybody. I've never robbed anybody of a penny in my life. So now you've got full transparency. Everything's clean and fair. Now, Joshua, the ball is really in your court, son. Everybody is done. If you're a man, and if you've got any sort of dignity and pride about you, you'll get this contract signed today. This is it. There is no more days, weeks, months. You've had the contract now for over 2 weeks, and you still haven't signed it. Show the public that you're really a big coward, that I know you are, and don't sign it. I don't care either way. If you sign it or you don't, it makes no difference to me at all. You're a beaten man, and I'm a world champion. I'm chucking you a massive bone, but I know I can punch your face in, so I'm willing to give you an opportunity. There's nothing more to do. Everyone is happy. Get your team onto mine. They will be available all day, like they've been available for the last 2 weeks. Get this contract signed today. And let the British fans have what they want. There's no more running. You have to fight me. You cannot escape. The Fury is coming.
If you are a man, get this contract signed today and give the British boxing fans what they want. Those are bold, bold, bold words, and we are looking forward to the contract being signed indeed, so that December 3rd we can have a mega bout. Now to my last story, we're going all the way across the world to Japan, where Steph Curry and Klay Thompson are on preseason games in Japan. But apart from playing basketball, they kind of got sidetracked with a little fun and mayhem with Hakuo Sho, the world-renowned Japanese sumo wrestler. Well, they were tasked to see if they could use the American basketball size and stature to move the Japanese sumo wrestling giant. I'll leave the judgment to you. Here's a few footage for us to review.
Push it. That's all I got. Oh, it's too. I can't. Okay. Do it again. Do it again. No, no, it's too strong. Oh my God.
I'm trying to push right here. I can't push it. That's all I got. Thank you. I got it.
Isn't it funny? Basketball is about staying on the move and finding a way to progress. Sumo wrestling is about standing your ground and proving that you're the man of the moment. It seems both of them met and sumo wrestling came out on top. Now, Sports Direct has had stories today from boxing to sumo wrestling, football, and of course the excitement around the allowance of alcohol at Qatar 2022. Jay, Lenny, that's all from me for Sports Direct, but I definitely want to know your comments and your thoughts on these stories.
Well, Cyril, this is exciting. One, sumo wrestling feels like, or the sumo wrestler feels like the Ghanaian economy. And,
it's not moving.
It's not moving.
We are pushing, but it's not moving.
You're pushing. No matter what you do, it's not going to go anywhere.
Jay shocked me on that one.
Jay needs a comedy show.
No, he really shocked me on that one. He really shocked me on that.
It's stagnant there, you know. But, I mean, Qatar and the alcohol, I mean, it's definitely going to be an interesting moment for a lot of people that, you know, want to
people who are pushing for it
alcohol to get the feeling, then they can, you know, scream their lungs out.
But do you really need alcohol to
trust me?
Some people gingered?
Some people, it does magic. Ask Johnny Stone.
Really?
Wow. It's part of the euphoria.
It is part of the euphoria.
No, because for me, I feel like you can ginger yourself without, you know, having any alcohol or any other thing. So when people say, "Oh, I need alcohol to be hyper," or "I need alcohol to be this," I'm like,
well, just
really
like how
relate.
you probably want to wake up in the morning, you know, look fresh and get confident before you come on TV. Somebody finds confidence in
for some people, alcohol is makeup.
Alcohol,
it goes on the inside, and then we feel ourselves.
You had to do that.
I like that. Anyway, Cyril, thank you so much for giving us, you know, Sports Direct here. We're back again next week, Monday, to give you more updates on sports. However, jump on our social media platforms if you want more information regarding anything that we discuss right here on the show. There is still more to come. Today, we're talking about Ghanaian comedy. Well, we are honored to have two comedians who have gigs over the weekend join us to talk a bit about, you know, the Ghanaian comedy industry and how well it's done so far. If you ask me, I think that they've done a remarkable job. But there are hurdles, and the journey wasn't easy. We want to jump in there as well. Also bring more updates on what's happening with regards to government against Kirani. If you ask me, it is something else for the morning. We'll discuss all that. But sit back, relax, and let's get ready. Lenny's back with Trending Live before we jump into Studio 899.
today I have 2 stories I'm going to be talking about. Now, my second story, I intentionally didn't mention it because I know how my gentleman with me in the studio will, come at me. So I'll do that right after this story that talks about Daddy Lumba. I earlier mentioned in the show that a comedian by name Ebenezer said that Daddy Lumba started TikTok trend. We have a video to this.
That's why Lumba will be, to me, the greatest Ghanaian artist of all time. Please let's give it up for Lumba. Lumba discovered TikTok before TikTok came. He is the smartest musician I've ever seen. Now when they do the song, they do a customized dance with it so that the more people indulge in the dance, so the easier the dance, the more viral the song. Buga is viral because the dance is easy to do, and the more people partake in the challenge, the more viral it becomes. You understand? Lumba made a dance challenge for all his songs. He customized one dance for all his songs. Smartest guy ever. So now the song will come, you ask what is the challenge? Lumba the song, one song, every album give me a Lumba song. And it's very easy to do. Doesn't matter. Oh, let's go. It matches with all his songs too. Give me any other Lumba song. Any other Lumba song. Give me that for Lumba. Now, give me a slow Lumba song to show that what I'm saying is true. You just do the tempo of the dance to match it. The new Lumba song will come down. Oh, Lumba, but Asabe, and I hope give me any slow. Do you have a slow? Okay.
Now, I did mention that Daddy Lumba started TikTok trend. See. You can relate to this. And it's so true because for every Daddy Lumba song, even till date, when it comes on, your first reaction is. And it's been years on end. And I think that generation after generation has, just taken to this dance in some way or some form, right? Once you hear Daddy Lumba song, you just go this way. Now, there are comments on Ebenezer Jumo's comedy. And so I'm going to just read that to you. Someone called Kwejo Myopia. Some of these names, sometimes it's so difficult to mention because of how they spell it. But Kwejo Myopia says, hey, you fool, pa. Then someone also says, I swear, this cracked me up. Riafe Menta says, I enjoyed this that day and today. Bill Otutu Dankwa wrote, I laughed that day and I'm laughing now, because it's actually true. You know how comedy is actually real life, so that's what it is. And I think that I totally agree with this. Now, one thing you may or may not agree with me is my next story. There's a trend now that women are marrying 2 husbands. The men may not agree to this, but you know what they say about what men can do? Women can do better. And I think that some men are, just allowing this. I watched a video some months ago where, there was a woman who had 2 husbands. Her husband also had 2 wives. It's just murky, especially when it comes to, having to make sure that you are not infected and all of those things. But I think the women are becoming bold now. Right? Because you know how the men do it and they hide. Morally, I'm not saying is right, but I'm just saying that socially and in today's day and time where, men are, proudly, outwardly having side chicks, right? This is a new trend that women are taking up as well. Let's see how the men are able to digest this and go with the flow. Because over time, women have also accepted that, oh, okay, so my husband has a side chick or may have a side chick, and I have to be okay with that, okay? So reading the comments on this, Elvis Jackson says, people getting two and you can't even get one. This life, no balance. Now that's funny because, yeah, it's actually reality. People just want one husband and they can't even get, and people are getting two. And then Angel says, if men can do 8 wives, women can do 2. Dexter Banks says, now we are trying to justify a joke. Some women marry a guy and then have a boyfriend off to the side. There's no obligation here. A free-for-all is a free-for-all. Do let me know what you think on our socials. Nanaya says, my dream's about to come through. Just what I need. Okay. Vuyo wrote, a lot of cognitively dissonant and misguided women. Wow. Okay. Michael also wrote, it's called polyandry. It is practiced in some parts of East Africa, especially Kenya. In polyandry, a lady can marry 2 husbands. Seems to be very rare in West Africa. And then also, my last one, which is from Rich Harry. Now, Rich Harry says, what a man can do, a woman can do better. Some girls can actually handle more than 2 men at the same time. You know, I earlier mentioned that what a man can do, a woman can do better. And it's so true because now I think the men are pushing women to do things that they really, really do not want to do. But maybe Cyril and Jay, you know, will counter what I'm saying right now. But hey, would you want to be a second husband to your wife? You can let us know. Get interactive with us across all of our socials, okay? You can find us on Instagram and Twitter, 3 Music Networks, and on Facebook, 3 Music, on Snapchat, 3 Music Live, and on TikTok, 3 Music Lifestyle, as well as +899 on Instagram and +899 FM on Facebook. So Jay and Cyril, let me know, would you guys want to be second husbands? Okay, fine, you're first husbands. Would you want an addition? Would you want to have a rival?
Man or woman?
A man.
A rival man.
Jay, I saw what you did there. I saw what you did there.
I don't
but
think
no,
took
not
your
a woman, a
medication
man.
this morning.
Yes,
We have to be checking. Also, we have to be checking your medication in the morning.
My medication.
I don't think you took your medication.
Would I want to have another man in addition to myself in my family, or another woman with myself?
No,
not another woman.
Another
man, yes.
To join the house.
Yes.
To join the house.
Your wife
not
will
just
have
to join
2
the house,
husbands.
to join the wife.
Oh, well, what is he coming to do now?
What's he not coming to do? Okay, okay.
My wife is not a bowl of food that, you know, you can say that, oh,
we'll tear some.
Let's add another person. I mean, if a woman is cheating, that's or a woman is seeing another person, that's a different thing altogether. But for the person to move into the house and join there, I mean,
because you're all married. In this case, you're all married.
No. When she can come to my place, when she's done, she can go to another place and you keep shuttling like that. But we can pay the Uber. That's not a problem.
Okay. So that means you'd agree for that to happen if there's a possibility.
I'm just saying that the part I didn't agree was even if it happens, the person can come and live in the house with you. I mean, yes, I'm saying that we'll handle the taxi fare.
Okay.
But to live in the house, no.
So what if that person is not a husband and it's a side guy?
Equally, if the person, I mean, what I'm just saying is that, I mean, whenever it's happening outside, then let it happen.
Okay.
But within the space of the house, you can't, that won't come in. I mean, you keep the home, and then, you know, let's just let that be outside the premises. That's being open-minded. Cyril. Yeah. Cyril, let me know what you think.
You see the way I've gone quiet? I'm getting error.
No, I really want to know.
Look, it's already happening. We are calling in names and polyandry and 2 husbands. And do you know how many happy side guys there are in this Accra?
Please let me know.
Popping side guys.
See, and I'll say it again.
Happiness.
I'll say it again. It's because the men started it.
No problem.
You know initially, if you have a side chick or something, you try to hide it. Now, even the side chicks are bold enough to come out and say, I'm a side chick. Even the men are bold enough to say, oh, I distress with my side chick. What happened to distressing with your wife?
Are we not all going mad? If that is the case and everybody is confessing and saying it, then why are people locking themselves into relationships in the first place?
Exactly. You see, that's the thing. And then there are so many open relationships now. Like, okay, even open marriages have become a thing. It's rather unfortunate how, things are going. Maybe because of social media. Maybe because, we've become too open and acceptive of certain things now. It's rather unfortunate, but that's what it is.
Well, that's what it is, Lenny. If we allow you, this rap will never end, will it?
I wanted to end so bad.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Well, like Cyril said, it's an error. But anyway, we're wrapping up on the stories on Trending Live. We have more to dish out in there. Well, again, that's the last for this week as well. She's back again next week, Monday, to give us some more updates on things trending over the weekend. But anyway, the conversation today, we are focusing heavily on GH comedy, you know, and yeah, on the GH, maybe the G for Ghana and the H for
Ghana comedy.
At one point in time, again, our neighboring counterparts, as Nigeria, had made certain strides in the comedian space or the industry, the comedy industry in Ghana. But I think over the years, the Ghanaians have been able to stand tall, in the words of Brother Boy's album, stand tall like a giant in the space. And now our local Ghanaian comedians are taking this baton to another pace or another level, another speed. Well, we're talking to some of them who will join us later on the show this morning, and you should be part of this. Charlie, before change when I what do you call it? When I carry out.
Yeah, because the jokes we deliver good jokes.
Yeah,
we are not bad at all.
Yeah, because there will be extra earnings will be bad.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next show coming up is with international comedian Cyril. The first joke comes and nobody really they watch you like.
The first joke, Charlie, the economy. Everybody.
Well, there's more on the show. We'll be right back in Studio 899. Don't go away. Quick musical break. There's more. Black and Jackie on that song, Shege. I love that jam. But anyway, I don't know how D Black does it. He does some magic and then he just keeps his brand refreshed all the time. Mr. Enjoyment, or Enjoyment is like he calls himself. But anyways, we are in part 2 of our conversation this morning, and we are still streaming live on Plus 89.9 FM, as well as live on your TV screens this morning on 3 Music TV. The whole team is here. And just as I promised, we're going to be talking about Ghana or Ghanaian comedians as well as comedy in Ghana. Okay, this morning. Now, it's been an amazing evolution of how Ghanaian comedians have been able to take the mantle back, from the foreign, constantly consuming foreign content, and they've created a market where now a lot of people patronize their services. However, there are twists and turns. It didn't just happen. It took blood, and when I say, I don't mean any killing. Now, when I say this here, I'm standing at my 2 guests here, and I know the words I've chosen will definitely spark something else altogether. But anyway, it took a lot of toil and sweat, let me say that, toil and sweat, to get it here. We'll understand the journey, as well as it's going to be a very humor-filled weekend. Where are you going to be? I'll tell you the best place to be this weekend, because the gentleman in the studio would tell us as well. Ladies and gentlemen, before I even introduce the guests, let's check out this video real quickly, and when we come back, I'll let you know who's in on the show with us this morning right here on Culture Daily. Now check this out. Just introduce my guests in the studio. So yes, as for Lenny, myself, and Cyril, we've been here with you already, but Obi, Alfonso, and Lexi the comic live in the studio. Charlie, we know get applause. Aww. Stop it. Will it be okay? I'm very worried. I'm the way you two are moving, I'm very worried. I'm very worried.
Be worried. We are getting close to Panther.
I mean, now they are around Medina. They are getting
using the footbridge.
But you guys have done an amazing job, and shouts to those who are not here, because my industry, problem. So shouts to all the people in the space there, who have, I don't know how you guys did it, and you've managed to make Ghanaians believe in your craft, because Ghanaians were laughing. At a point in time, Ghanaians were laughing at the fact that we felt that Ghanaian comedians weren't funny. And that was what we're laughing at, and that was very sad. Mm-hmm. And I think you've turned it around nicely in some way, and you use very local elements and relatively realistic, relatable happenings.
Funny.
I finish the show.
I beg you. Englishist. Realistically. How many synonyms do you have? He dey lacquer you. Because only has one synonym for. You can say, it's like going there. It's like you go there, Like he says, this girl is beautiful. He wants another synonym. So she's like very beautiful. That's it. Simple. If you say one more, say very, very beautiful. Extremely.
Very makes the difference.
Yes, very makes the difference. So but let's go check out this video. When we come back, we'll start our conversations in the studio.
Every time we hear this whole ecosystem in the entertainment industry, and every time when you hear entertainment pundits or event organizers get the opportunity to talk to the public about how this ecosystem is supposed to work, they keep saying that artists are supposed to support event organizers, and event organizers are supposed to support artists, so that we can all collectively benefit. It's a good point. But one thing too I have observed about this industry is when you are in your prime, and you decide to do a lot of favors in this industry, when the shine goes down, trust me, they will move on to the next person. Meaning, whatever you did, thinking that the industry will pay you back in the same measure, you won't get it. There are a lot of examples like the Ebusum Young, Nana Boro. So all these guys who came into the scene, if they didn't make all the money they needed to make during their prime, charge what is due them, the event organizers are still organizing their events, but the artists are nowhere to be found. So if I'm an artist, sometimes you feel like, no, I will not be here for long. And because, yes, let's be frank with us, not every one of us will actually stay here for the long term. So if you are not able to make all you need to make during the period where you are in your prime, and you try to like be all considerate to event organizers, the industry will pay you back in the same measure. You won't get it. And there are a lot of examples like the Ebusum Young, Nana Boro. So all these guys who came into the scene, if they didn't make all the money they needed to make during their prime, charge what is due them. The event organizers are still organizing their events, but the artists are nowhere to be found. So if I'm an artist, sometimes you feel like, no, I will not be here for long. And because, yes, let's be frank with us, not every one of us will actually stay here for the long term. So if you are not able to make all you need to make during the period where you are in your prime, and you try to like be all considerate to event organizers. I remember when Kumerica was huge. Everybody wanted to use them for their shows and all that. But now, how many of them are being built for shows with the tag Kumerica? Nobody even cares about them. So I feel, yes, genuine concerns from the event organizers and everything. But artists too, sometimes we also look out for our welfare, because this industry we find ourselves, tomorrow is not guaranteed. That's my little concern, basically.
It seems the issue has, because I don't want to use an English word, because the issue has worn him. The issue has worn him. He wants to discuss this. It looked more like you were airing some heaviness on your chest, like you have been used.
No, not me per se, but I keep it like I listen to a lot of entertainment shows, and when I hear about this whole ecosystem agenda, like we should all collectively help each other, push each other. At least if event organizers will be here for long, so you artists, if you still want us to put you on.
But some event organizers have also phased out on their events.
Same with artists.
So then that's the ecosystem where we help ourselves all.
But some event organizers are still running their businesses, and some artists who were like all considerate to are out of business now. Some will just have one hit, and that will be it. So if they don't make all the money out of the one hit, that will be it for them.
Don't you feel that talent sometimes are too hard on event organizers? Now I'm coming from this point where there are two. It takes more for an event organizer to prepare a platform for a talent to use than a talent to prepare himself to be on an event organizer's platform. Can we argue that out?
No, I don't think that's
so. If you're going to do your show, you're going to do your show. Yeah. It takes a lot of. I'm talking about spend on money, not creativity. So it takes a lot more for an organizer to, like get the venue ready, lights, promotion, and all that, and pay talent. How much are you spending on your concert, for example?
Yeah, a lot. A lot of money.
So if you were bringing Lexi on there, or any other person, you're bringing another person on the platform, and the person is collecting some huge amount of money from you. Do you feel pained by this? Like that's
well, as I said, you tried. I saw what you did there. You tried to beat the whole creativity thing down for it to look like the one investing more money into the project is the one supposed to be considered. But if my brother here will even testify, that's a 30-minute set we are doing for you on your platform. Sometimes it takes like months of
thinking,
trying and failing, trying and failing, and you have a team also to feed. You get it? So after 3 months, if there's no show and one show comes, because they've been with you for 3 months trying to build this 30-minute craft for just this big platform, and you go there and you go and charge something small, we cannot sustain the brand for like the next. It becomes quite a challenge, basically.
Cyril, Lenny,
and we have a comedy club.
Yeah,
we have a comedy club that we run every weekend. You have to transport yourself. We are not doing necessarily for the money. You have to always transport yourself every Thursday to go and hone your craft. and everything. So you do all these things, and one day, and one thing about comedy, you chance somebody will go like, oh, and you're Jimmy Keke, or you are just coming to fool. They belittle the whole thing like, oh, it is nothing serious. Because maybe we are not hitting into the studio to go and record or pen, so they don't see what really goes into our craft. But it takes a lot to actually make people laugh consistently for 30 minutes.
Okay, let's start from trying to appreciate the craft of a comedian and what goes into the work of a comedian. Let's start from there. Maybe then we can shift people's mindset into appreciating a bit better. Then the value of what they have to pay for becomes very valid before everyone. Because the point you've raised is very, very, very true. That because we don't see comedians, they have to go into a studio, or after what you wear to the event, there's no anything.
You don't have any backup dancers. There's no instrumentalist.
Yeah, I mean, at your last show, the only thing that was on the stage was your
microphone, and a bar stool, and
so
a few bottles of water.
That one, water, 2 CDs, bar stool, renting 50 Ghana, microphone rent to 100 Ghana. So it's not even up to 500 CDs. So yes, probably not being appreciated that much. So let's understand what goes into the craft of a comedian.
Okay, so
what time do I try answering something?
No, answer. Go on.
So the craft of a comedian, I can speak for stand-up comedians, and I would say that a lot goes into it for us. In fact, if we were to monetize our creativity, it would be priced the same as the amount of money an event organizer invests in his show too.
This is where the debate starts.
Yeah, if I should price my creativity, and it's because, especially in Accra, when our audience are the same, like if Foley come for Lexi's show tonight, you'd go for Jacinta's show next week. I'll be there performing, and I'll be performing at Lexi's show as well.
Plug in.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, and then I'll be doing my own show in December. Now you are in Accra. Our audience base is is quite fixed around you guys, and comedy dwells on surprise. So the moment you see where the joke is headed, it doesn't become funny anymore. So the first time I tell you a joke, you would laugh at it. The next time you come to Jacinta's show and you hear me telling that joke, you'll be like, okay, I know the punchline to this joke. So it's not really funny anymore. The third time you hear me saying, like, dude, tell another joke. But then you'd have heard Kwame Eugene perform Angela at Lexi's show, you dance to it. You go to Jacinta's show, Kwame Eugene will perform.
The guy answered my question.
Kwame Eugene will perform Angela at Jacinta's show, you dance to it. You come to my show, he'll still perform the same song, you dance to it. So now weigh the two creative processes. You realize that I'm not to downplay musicians' efforts. I'm saying that once they force and struggle to get a hit song, they have the chance to perform it for years. But you as a comedian, you now have to come up with new content every time because your audience wants new stuff from you. You understand? And our industry is not that, polarized for us to be touring the whole country. You know, if we were doing that touring culture where, maybe Trevor Noah has a special coming up, he will tour the states in the USA. Basketman will tour other regions in Nigeria. In Nigeria, we do not have the financial wherewithal to carry us around like that, and so we are stuck in Accra and Kumasi and our audience base. Because if we had that, we would go to Sunyani. You'd see different culture, you learn something. By the time you are back in Accra, you'd have new jokes for your Accra people too. You understand? But so
that will be the joke.
Exactly. So, so now you see how tough it is for us to create new jokes, especially when we know our audience are typically hard to please. And so you need to work extra harder as a Ghanaian comedian. And that's why I'm telling you that right now, if you pick me and put me in a show in Rwanda, in South Africa, I'm going to kill it. Because I've been working too hard down here in Ghana. You understand? So I'm open to the market. And it's a culture we are building in the Ghanaian comedy sector space. So what we realized is that bankers wake up and then they go to the bank to work. Footballers go to the field to train. What do comedians do if that's your job? You know, so yeah. Yeah, what do? You wake up in Just you fully. One day your mind is I make you no talk.
Raise it. Hi, where are your mother will go? Where are you? I'm in training.
I'm in training. Oh man, why are you interrupting me? Yeah, so we looked at that and said, okay, then we need to start establishing comedy clubs in Ghana, which is a culture everywhere. If you go to Lagos, actually, you get, when I went to South Africa in May, I went there for just 10 days. I had a chance to perform in 2 comedy clubs. Yes, and it was back to back. Once I finished, they would say, Charlie, we have another one tomorrow. Are you available? Then they started recommending other ones for me. And I said, this is a culture we should have in Ghana as well.
From Monday to Saturday.
The problem was that our people were wondering, would they be able to soak it like a Thursday evening after work? The typical Ghanaian would love to go home. You know, so we were like, can't beat traffic. We established a comedy club at
2927
Tesano, 2927 Comedy Club. Started last year and started growing it. Now, when you come there are young ones who come to hone their skills. We too, that we know there's the festive season coming. So we have to compile jokes for you guys so that you don't get fed up with us. You know, so we've been working there every week. It's 2927 Comedy Club every week. And then because of that, there's also another one at Virtual Hub Studios, Accra Comedy Club, every 2 weeks on a Wednesday. And Kumasi too started. Kumasi, there's one called the Cockpit Comedy Club. Yeah. You understand? So now that we have 3 comedy clubs in Ghana. You understand? And so this is something that we are all working on or working towards to make our craft appreciated more in Ghana. I mean, for as a matter of fact, I believe if we continue with this hard work, the sky is just the beginning, sincerely. Because we've seen other African artists do it. Trevor Noah is selling out Madison Square Garden, and he's South African. Burna Boy is doing that, he's Nigerian. So the more you push...
Basketball is doing O2.
Yeah, I think what is probably lacking in our industry is the connect, you understand? It took Nabil to take me to South Africa to link with some comedians in South Africa before I could get... So if the people who have the right connect are listening to us, they should, so
isn't this support that industry is asking of talent and talent is asking of industry? Because sometimes I think the problem, and we've had conversations in the same studio in just a week since we started, where we've realized that there's a certain gap between what the talent thinks about the event organizer and what the event organizer is thinking about the talent. The platform feels talent is asking for too much, considering the fact that we take out physical cash. When I shouldn't be saying we. That takes out physical cash, to organize labor. And when I say labor, I'm talking about the people who are going to fix the light, sound, the dangers of climbing the scaffolds to fix all these things. I mean, look at what it takes to pull off a 3 Music Awards. Days of the Global Citizen Festival. Yeah. And then now you come to the talent and you say, Charlie, bro, you 2,000. You say no, 10,000. You say, Charlie, 3,000. You say no, 10,000. And then back and forth, and the talent turns the money down.
But the truth is, sorry.
So the money.
I'm just saying. Yeah. The truth is that you are going through all this, employing the electrician,
everything
for the talent to come perform. You see, if the talent doesn't show up, the show is every effort you put in the show is vain. You understand? So if you are rather investing in the sound, you're investing in the logistics, the necessary logistics, you should also consider the person delivering the content that you seek. You understand? If you are inviting Burna Boy, you can't tell me because of your electrician, Burna Boy should reduce his charge. You understand? So when event organizers put value on creatives value them as well. If you come to me and you bring a reasonable price, and then we are able to beat it down to a certain point that you agree and I agree, it's fine. But some of the event organizers come at you with, a paltry sum, and you are like, this is not fair to my career and what I've been able to accomplish so far. Because if I could alone by myself fill the National Theatre, and the National Theatre takes about 1,500 people, and everybody pays 100 cedis. Yeah, so if you add 100 to, you multiply 1,500. There you go. You see 150,000. Minus tax and everything, I'll probably be going home with 50,000. You understand? And the truth is that comedy is not really valued that much, because if I'm built on a show, okay, it's a music and comedy show, and I'm able to entertain you for 30 minutes, and then Kiddy comes to entertain you too for 30 minutes. You enjoy this music, you dance to it, I made you laugh as well. I believe I deserve to be paid.
The MC, Cyril, the MC too.
Everybody can make the argument.
What are we going to say about the MC?
Yes, boss.
Then let's
Okay,
go
so and one thing they would throw in when they want to build you as a comedian, and that thing really gets to me. Like I mentioned it earlier. Oh, boss, this one that baby just fooling you, they can't fool.
That's why I said that last one.
And they just trivialize the whole craft. Like it is, and I don't really blame them, because I think the genesis of comedy in this country contributed to that. Comedy wasn't treated as an industry; it was treated as a sub of theater. So maybe concert party, the comedians would have to come and open up for those who do the drama people to come. So they were being seen as, okay, these people, they don't really have anything really do, just come and do pass through and go. So if they had migrated, those days the comedians had migrated from just opening for the theater people and establish a whole culture for themselves, that they can stage a show where accommodate Bobokala, everybody will just be on. I think it could have, this conversation wouldn't have been discussed as we speak. But yes, now we are trying to change the narrative by organizing our show, just as Obi did this, I've done mine. And now people can clearly see that, we just one comedian, we can fill a whole auditorium. Not necessarily like having important comedians all the way from different countries. And sometimes when you listen to the figures they even give to some of these foreigners, and you match up the talent, what you even contribute to the event, you realize that, what are they doing so special that you want me to give you like something?
And it's the same comedians.
The same comedians.
You understand? A comedian from Ghana. Yeah, boss.
Let me play devil's advocate.
Please do.
I've been listening for the past 10 minutes. Okay. The music and musicians, rappers, singers, their content that they create is ultimately promoted based on repetitive consumption. Okay. The more you listen to something, the more you love it, the more it becomes addictive to you and memorable to you. Comedy or humor always needs the punchline, which is built in the element of surprise. Yeah. So scarcity promotes comedy. If you don't know what is coming, if you don't know what is coming, the better the joke, right? Yeah. If you start, Charlie, I hear some stories say the man way, and I know.
Just finish it.
So exactly. So scarcity promotes the humor. Now, my problem with Ghanaian humor or Ghanaian comedy is that it's still heavily rooted in slapstick comedy. Where I say slapstick, like what you said, right? About the genesis of it.
I have a feeling that this would be used in one of the
don't worry.
the performances very soon.
No, he can use it. He can use it. I'm not intending to offend anybody. I'm making a point. He raised it.
I'm actually listening.
Yeah. You see, the problem is that we started with was not a problem. We started with concert party, Bobokala and the giant watch and the tapoli tie and all those things. And as we evolved to comedy minds like you, where you are creating your own shows and diversifying, the jokes themselves have not been crafted towards different audiences. Now, hear me out. When you have a comedian like a Trevor Noah, right, the audience reach that Trevor Noah has is not the same audience reach that maybe a Funny Face or a Clint the drunk has. Yeah. Trevor Noah can be able to go to the heights of society and execute comedy, right, based on the styling of the content that he's created. But he still appeals to all of us in this room. Yeah. But there's a certain clientele that even if you were organizing your show and they mention somebody that this person should go and do the joke, you would say, no, maybe there be Obi in Koye because this audience
appeals.
Exactly. I'll confess, I've not paid attention to Ghanaian comedy in depth like I have to music, so I can't make any conclusions. Sure. My question back to you is that, do you think that Ghanaian comedians are investing enough in their craft and going on cross platforms enough to build value when they are not telling the jokes. Like you and I have worked on platforms that are not comedy-based platform, where you perform a role for me, where it is a host role and an anchor role, but it's the comedy that makes you an interesting anchor and host. That is adding to your value. So tomorrow when I call you for a joke show or a comedy show, I know that you have built value outside of your comfort zone. Do you think your peers are doing that enough, or is it also an issue of a lot of people locked up in I'm a funny guy, I tell jokes, so that's what I'm doing?
So thank you so much. I enjoyed your question.
I know where you go, but
no, you don't know where.
Money lift.
You don't know.
If you know where it's going, money lift.
I want to chip. I want to chip before you.
Let's see money lift.
You like. I realized that a lot of the things you said, I could clearly see you've not been following comedy. Like,
yeah, he said it.
No, I said that.
Yeah,
you've not been in depth.
And that is why
I follow like everybody else. When you see the video or you go to one or two shows or blah, I've not invested in checking out comedy.
So, like, let's say if a comedy discussion comes and maybe, like for yourself happens to sit in there, your contribution might be coming from what you've observed, but you've not really had an in-depth knowledge about what we've been doing over the year. And a lot of people out there who also believe that what Cyril says is the truth. So you throw whatever you know in there, and that will be the narrative out there. So a lot of the time, mostly when conversations like this pop up, I would love people who
are in the space to understand,
so that when they are like for instance, you were at my show the other time. Sometimes you can listen to entertainment shows and somebody said that Ghanaian comedians are not funny. I don't think when you came you didn't laugh. I saw you laugh.
No, Lexi, you are getting me wrong. I'm not saying Ghanaian comedians are not funny.
No, I'm just saying that maybe what you said, like Ghanaian comedians have not been able to migrate from.
No, I asked.
Let me.
It was a question. Yeah, I asked the question that, in your opinion, knowing your peers and the industry, would you say that Ghanaian comedians are investing in themselves outside of their comfort zone to build that value? Like, and I may give the example that I follow some comedians like Obi, and I have engaged Obi personally on non-comedic things that he has done for me. I give all those examples. But the thing you also need to remember is that just as I might be a bit naive about Ghanaian comedy, so is majority of your potential audience. A lot of people who are listening now are not comedy experts. They are just random listening to Plus 899 or watching TV. So if you are able to convince Cyril on air, right, just like you said, that endorsement automatically applies to the listenership. So don't take me as a panelist today. Take me as a random Ghanaian, right, who likes Ghanaian comedy and wants a good enough reason to say that the next time we are organizing any show, and I hear Jay Foley or any promoter saying that, oh, comedian Accra, what was the phrase you said? You understand? Empower me. I'm just asking you that you believe in your people enough that we are not just complaining about a problem. Listen, when the musicians come and sit here, I give it to them the same. That you are complaining about Nigerian music, but who is mixing your sound? When they play your sound in a Benz or in a proper studio, the bass, they hit well. And they ask them. So I'll ask you the same, that are you still in the comfort zone, or are you investing in empowering yourself beyond that? Because that's where you get value.
So I get your question very, very well. See, for our stand-up comedy industry is very young. And the struggles that we are going through now, some have been through it, and like other countries, Nigeria has been through it, and now they are a bit settled. South Africa has Comedy Central in South Africa, so they are a bit settled.
They've grown.
We are still growing. In fact, the successes we are chalking, we feel like they are just the tip of the iceberg right now. What we have also realized is that, and we realized this during COVID, that we need to diversify. Stand-up comedy is not just it. If we want people to know us, it wouldn't take just that, because in an auditorium, how many people can we have filled a place? And so we diversified into radio. We have a radio show, What Matters Today on Plus 89, this station, every Friday evening. And I would say it's the most listened to radio show on Fridays from 7 to 8 p.m. We have boat drivers, Uber, like they have passengers that want to change the station and say, oh, Mr. Raoul, I have a show I want to listen to. And then we diversified also into TV with the Half Serious show on GH1 TV. Yeah. Then we started it, realized that the reach we were getting now was massive. So we didn't have a lot of that when we came, myself and Lexi. It was David Oscar doing, I think, one on Viasat. Yeah, he, Romanus, and so it wasn't really a big thing. And that's what we realized, and it's what we are still working on. We do MCing, we do weddings, we do a lot of activations for people to see us. And yeah, like that one. We MC shows. Lexi is a host of another show, Hot Cake, and so. And when you are an MC,
so they are making money. Basically, they are making money around. Like, they are making money.
The money around, I love it, right? Yeah. But I would love the impact around.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to. And so the truth is that what we are doing right now, the young ones coming would be the ones to enjoy the most, because we are seemingly sacrificing ourselves to pave or cut a way for them to also know that it's not just stand-up comedy. There are stand-up comedians who do skits. I'm not able to do skits because it takes a lot, and I prefer quality to quantity. So I'm not one that starts, you watch the skit, you're like, what did I just watch? I feel like if I put something out there, it has to be substance. Yeah, and so that is holding me back, personally, with skits. Yeah, so I'd rather put out my stand-up content, which when I put out is fire. I would recommend my Popular But Broke special for you to go watch on YouTube. It's 59 minutes of me doing jokes, you understand? And everybody
let's help promote that.
Yeah, Popular But Broke comedy special. I put it out for free. I produced it with Tele Music actually helped me produce it. So it's out there on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, Obi Amponsan. I talked about everything from LGBTQ to COVID to
for a second.
I was like, did you speak?
But you know LGBTQ, right?
Yeah, we do.
You haven't met a friend who like makes sentences out of shorthands?
No.
No.
Now, in talking about value creation, as comedians, how sustainable is a career in comedy? And aside that, people look up to you, in the comedy space, right? How are you trying to, bring them on board to believe that, okay, I can't actually have a career in comedy and live by that?
Yeah.
Okay, so just as we mentioned, now we have the comedy club, which runs every Thursday, and other clubs too are running. So yes, when you come actively, you can see that we are working. And one thing I realize now, corporate institutions are trying to engage comedians in a lot of their dinners, their gatherings, and all. So then it wasn't like that. They would never they would rather bring in a musician, but now they would prefer to put in a comedian, or maybe use you as a comedian as a host for this thing. So not just you doing proper stand-up comedy shows. There are other shows that will engage you, which will not be in the corporate.
Yeah, so I think there's a point that we're missing with these two questions that Lenny and Cyril have asked. And if I put my seriousness on, that's what I want to let's get an answer out of that.
Okay.
First off, whose responsibility is it to build his or her own brand? And when I say brand, that is how people perceive you. It is you. It's your responsibility. So am I right to say that it is not the Ghanaians, the consumer's responsibility, as you were saying, to perceive the comedian as someone? It is what the comedian has perceived, has created about himself or herself, is how they'll be seen.
Yeah.
So, for example, if you are to arrive at a show today, as a guest, and you choose to dress in a certain way that people would not see you as expensive, as the same length that an artist might go to put all the bling on himself, just, to come in a certain and request for a certain kind of entrance. I want to have a front seat. I want to have, those things. Don't you think that those small things, because it's the brand building that he was speaking on Trevor Noah.
Yeah.
And it's how the person was perceived, not necessarily the content, because the content is top notch, but it is the
packaging.
The packaging.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
That's where the problem is. It's just like in other people in the entertainment industry. We work. We are some lone wolves that are just trying our best on our own. Like we do not have management teams. We do not.
What is the reason?
No, the truth is, with music.
No, let's not.
I'm coming. With music, like management, with music, I know, if I run to a certain Bulldog or a certain Links Entertainment, there are a few labels that can help you as a brand to grow your craft and also reach out to. But with comedy, not too many people are in this industry that you can actually pinpoint and say, okay, this guy has been able to grow other comedy giants. That if you're a young guy coming up, you can also go to and say, okay, I want you to manage me. So it is just us doing it our own. A lot of the time, you employ the services of some people, and you realize that they only fall in love with the glam and the places you go to. They don't really have in-depth knowledge on the whole comedy, how the comedy is supposed to be. Right? So what we have gathered over the years is what we are.
So isn't it the reason that you've always been talking about, you know, when talent is building teams, talent always ignores business.
Yeah.
You know, we hardly see a lot of talent engaging professionals to manage, like somebody who has a marketing background, someone who has
like a business manager.
You know, it's usually friends of friends of friends, you know, who don't even understand customer service and all these things that engage. Because for the only person responsible to build the comedy space is the comedian.
Yeah.
You know, and stakeholders, because yes, and stakeholders, because even in the stakeholder conversation, I want to find out. There's no way. Let me just pick a company at random. There's no way maybe a bank will take on a responsibility of trying to invest in comedy and changing the narrative because it's not their core mandate. You know, it's not their core mandate. It might be a CSR or something on the side that they want to associate their brand with, like how golf is associated with Rolex, but even in that, Rolex association with golf will only be as a result of value that golf has built over the years. Yeah. So that's where the question is coming back to that. Yeah. How do we build brand value around the comedy business
and sustain it?
Yeah. Because a company like Charterhouse started with the 1,000 and something laughs, the series. Now the question is, how has comedy industry, or how have comedians have had an association or a sit-down conversation with Charterhouse that we see the direction? So let's develop a 5-year plan out of this, where our contribution would be maybe not to bill you on actual performance fees, but what you're going to do for us is that on every activation, you must make sure you prioritize Ghanaian comedy. This is our contribution, because after all, it's just a one show. In addition to that, maybe in conversations around sponsorships, let's see how you can put a little percentage of whatever it is into your budgeting, or if not, this is our contribution. Let's see how you also contribute. You have logistics, Charterhouse. You have stage, sound, light, venue. If we had set a conversation 10 years ago, by the time that Grand Arena was built, it would have been a free service for comedians. So in my personal experience, I've realized that the mistake that talents make, because I've sat at business manager level of managing media houses. And what I've come to realize over the time is that when you present an artist, and I'm saying this, an artist, musician, with airtime as a barter trade, and barter trade is legal, as a barter trade for a service from the artist, the first thing the artist says is, "Nah, airtime." To me, that is a very flawed statement, because you are trying to tell me that now reach the mediating. What am I using reach for? What am I using audience? And like you mentioned, how GH1 and all these platforms are. Because I'm an addict to your show. You know, I literally go back on the social media platform, the handles, to go and look for what they've clipped that they've got. What's the other guy? The other guy who does
Professor
Ojo. Oh my days, man! Like that is something else. So that is coming back to that's
So what you are talking about. It is what we need.
Yeah.
You understand? We are not going to argue with you on this.
For real.
This is advice. This is an advice that we need. You understand? This is like a business advice that we need. See, when I came into this industry, what I realized was that there were no, like, I came, I started doing my thing. No direction.
No direction. Nobody.
Nobody to
mentorship,
like
nothing.
lead you. Like, okay, this is how. Nobody told me. I went on 1,022 laughs to bomb. Because when I got there, I went there with new material, which I shouldn't have. You know, the older ones should have told me that, when you are on this platform, you go there with jokes that you've tried and tested. This is not the platform to go and... Conference Center is not the platform to go and try new jokes. I didn't know that. I was hot-headed, young guy. I'm in the industry. So that direction is lacking. That direction you just gave, this business sense. Because sincerely, not a lot of creatives have that business sense in addition to we cannot all be Mr. Easy. You understand? We can just some of us can just write jokes and perform them. That business aspect is missing, and I'm not going to say we have it. We are lacking it, and we would need that help.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, so talking about payment, right? I know that you organize your headline shows and all of that, and we understand that creatives have to be paid. For me, it's a big deal for me when creatives are not paid, when creatives are looked down upon, right? Okay, so having fellow comedians on your shows, do you pay them? Do they get paid as well? Or is there an agreement that, okay, I'm going to come on your show for free. When I also have a show, you are going to come on for free, and in that order. And if that is the case, for looking at the long term, how do you then end up making money? Because if 10 comedians are coming to come on your show and they're going to do it for free, you're going to go on those 10 shows as well for free.
All right. So I would say it's not absolutely free.
Okay.
It's not absolutely free. At least they'll have something that can take them home. But it's not as much as what they would charge an event organizer, because they also need your services, or your services on their platform. So just as Sarko, they will do a Rapaholic, and you show up and support Sarko there. Maybe you also need a feature that can also extend your reach in terms of audience, because you need Sarko there's fans to also listen to your music. We don't do that. I'll only feature on his show, and maybe you also have something little just to support me for coming. Then on his on my show too, he'll come through for me. Yes,
ideally.
Yes,
if you had the sponsorship and all, like everybody would, and so we understand. So if you are booking me for a show, like if Leslie is booking me for a show, and they have like a top brand sponsor, like it's maybe
Three Music, Mineral Water.
Lexi took you to be mute show. He's making some coins. Ideally he should find something for you. But if it's not truthful, then it's up to him. But the truth is, we support each other in that regard without necessarily expecting something, because we know we need each other in the business. You understand? So basically, that's how.
When we come back, we will want to be talking about how much it takes to build a local talent in terms of a comedian. What does it take to build, or how much would you pay for, or how much would you expect to be paid? Let's look into this, because the point you raised about what goes into the work and appreciating it is a very key factor. A quick musical break. When we come back, the conversation continues. All right, so welcome back to the conversation. Now we're live in the studio with Lexi Comic and Obi and Ponta. We're also broadcasting live on Plus 89.9 FM, and we're live on 3 Music TV. We'd love to take some questions from you as well, or contributions to this conversation this morning. Feel free to make that happen. Just jump onto our Facebook page, 3 Music on Facebook, or 3 Music Networks on Twitter and Instagram, where the conversation has been posted, or Plus 89.9 FM as well. And let me say good morning to Mr. George Quay, who's also got an event coming off this weekend with Nash Shoko, titled
Run for Your Wife.
Run for Your Wife. Yes, Run for Your Wife. I mean, these are all contributors to the craft. You know,
actually, he's the one helping me organize my own. So, Image Bureau.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah, then that's good. In the George Quay, he's doing magic.
GQ in the building.
All right, so I leave that to you. That Cyril, you had a question you wanted to.
Yeah. I just I wanted to chip in that, you know, comedy is not comedy is a very, 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 very powerful communication tool, because music is locked in. If I create a song today, whatever I had to say on that song is locked in until I create a new song. But being a comedian is more or less being a linguist and using humor as the lubricant to the mind. You understand?
Yeah.
And what you guys now the first time you thought I called you out, I didn't call you out. I'm now calling you out.
He says, "Hey, Charlie."
You guys have been doing comedy wonderfully, but you have to go beyond doing the comedy. Okay. The one thing Ghanaian brands require is communicators. That's why they take influencers, because through this girl's fashion, she's communicating to an audience. Through this guy's gym, he's communicating to an audience. Through this guy's lifestyle, he's communicating to an audience. You guys communicate to maybe the broadest cross-section of the Ghanaian audience, because from the driver to the CEO, they all watch the funny video, laugh, and share to their respective WhatsApp groups, church group, and everywhere. It cuts across. You guys need to look beyond delivery of jokes for the humor engagement on a stage or at an event to becoming communicators in society, to the point where a brand will say, I have this drink, but I don't want another ad. I don't want this, I don't want that. And they leave it to you, because nobody can create the humor
better than you. You have the music, they have a plethora of options. Yeah. Billboard models, beautiful girls and boys, over. You understand? Yeah. But humor is something that is so unique that if you are able to wield it as a weapon, you will be the communicator of choice. That's why you have the likes of Kevin Hart, David Chappelle, and all that earning millions. Everything David Chappelle wears for every one of his specials is paid for. When he comes there and he's in an Adidas hoodie, they allow cash out before he climbs the stage. You understand? Because they realize that he is a communicator. Mm-hmm. So you realize that in America, some of these comedians become lobbyists. They take a special agenda. Maybe somebody give her money for back. Yeah. But because you'll be able to break down such a technical issue in humor, that the watchman go bab to the CEO go bab. Yeah. He is now a powerhouse.
So let me play the part on the side of the talent as well, and just find out this. KSM was doing this and brought in all the CEOs and everybody. So what happened? Because there was a period where comedy just vanished, and because Sunday concert party was it Saturday or Sunday?
Yeah.
Sundays.
No. Sunday was a camp drama.
Saturday.
Saturday evening.
Saturday. It was a big deal. Yeah. So where did we go wrong?
Okay. Who goes in?
No, take it.
All right. So I feel somebody came into the system, and in the process of trying to sell one of his people, like one of his own or his own people.
That's Charterhouse.
I'm still talking. Before Jay Foley can say I'm a better MC than maybe Cyril, Jay Foley has to put all structures in place to make Cyril products feel like a bit of yawa. So his can stand out. So in the process of doing that, it cost the GH comedy industry a lot. because yes, now they started importing. And one thing too, apart from, let's say, KSM, who was actually doing comedy, not necessarily wearing too many things just to be funny, they brought in the whole idea of like a comedian coming through and not painting the face. You don't necessarily have to look funny to sound funny. So Ghanaians were now exposed to a different type of coin. You know how the DBs, the CEOs, and they want to affiliate to that's class of. They don't want to see, let's say, clowns. Sorry to use the word clown.
Yeah, yes. Sure. They don't want to see clowns.
Whilst doing that, the taste changed. Now they started falling in love with that kind of comedy. But there were still stand-up comedians in Ghana who were doing that type of comedy, but they belittled them. They drummed in the ears of people that Ghanaian comedians are not funny, they are not good, they are not better, they are not. And when Ghanaian comedians were fighting back just to make Ghanaians believe that they had the medium, they had the platform, they had the TV station to tell the numbers how far can your voice go, because everybody was watching them. They were like the powerhouse behind every comedy show happening in the country. So whatever they say becomes the narrative out there. So that was it. It went on for a long time. So it has taken like about 15 to close to 20 years of damage control. So it won't take us like maybe 2-3 years to do that. We are still hitting it hard just to correct it. But regardless, yes, we are still winning some Ghanaian souls all over. Some are treating us like the Jehovah's Witness. When we come, they
close the door fast.
But yes, but the love is gradually building up. Now when we do shows, we fill up the auditoriums and all. But that period when they were like the importations were very heavy. That one nobody had room for any Ghanaian comedian. Then it was a struggle. Even now, there's still a bit of struggle just to convince a Ghanaian that
come and how
my concern is with what's serious. I want to know how do you think we can beat that communication thing? How do you think we can surmount that challenge of
ladies and gentlemen, the hosts are interviewing.
I like it when I meet people who have like some depth or knowledge that I do not have. I keep quiet and I listen to them because you just spoke about the business part, which I really had not.
It pained me, but I remember those times. You know, sometimes you give an artist airtime, and musicians specifically give them airtime, and then they don't use the airtime. The contract expires, another deal comes up. Say, look, I'll give you airtime again. And say, you always give me airtime. And I'm asking. I remember one artist name withheld. I sat him down in my office and I said, my guy, did you come back to me to say that, you know what, Jay, you've given me 50K airtime. So please, my songs, I want you to schedule it like this for me. Monday, play it 5 times. How much is the cost of playing? So that I put value in doing that.
Even his artist's name is not nice. Name withheld.
Name withheld. I never did that. And I said that this is what airtime is. I said, do you know how much? Do you know how much a telco is begging to have this 50K airtime for their use? You know, because they understand the use of this airtime. So if you're telling me that it has expired and you didn't use it for anything, and then I'm bringing you back another 50K and you want the money instead, how much is the money? I mean, those times, like, I'm going to give you like some 3K or 5K, you know, deal, and you prefer that to the mileage that this can give you. And I said, understand that you are dealing with a media house. What can you get out of the media house? Me, I'm using your content every day. I'm playing it to survive and get more people to listen to me. And passing your bags to go and collect deals from companies and play their adverts. I'm doing that. What are you using me for?
Yeah, that's why I think management is really important.
It's
like having the right.
You know who's managing Nigerian talent? 90% of Nigerian talent managers and talent strategists are either advertising executives, marketing executives, or people who have been in the agency and marketing communication space. The problem here is that Ghanaian talent in general, this is not coming. This bullet is not for you. It's a bomb. It's for the whole industry. We all, with a turn out, we get proud of being able to create, that it's so difficult for us to say, I don't know how to do this. Help me. We don't do it.
True. That's true.
Singers, rappers, beat makers, producers, media personalities, everybody. We get so happy that, hey, I'm on radio. About you, Pana, they go ask JC, my this, that, about me every morning a day. We need to get past the pride of being able to create. And accept where our Achilles heel is.
Thank you.
And then say that, Charlie, come from here. This is where I want to reach. Because the moment you have a strategy, innovation will happen.
Yeah.
If you need to cross a river, you figure out whether it's boat or submarine. That's innovation.
Or Uber.
Or Uber.
This guy gets some movie Kevin Hart, some movie here and there was Wesley Snipes. Hey, I tweeted Wesley Snipes and he retweeted back.
Oh, you are famous.
There you go.
Can I get an autograph?
Oh, after I DM and the guy don't mind me. There's some movie. They release a movie fresh now. Where I go watch. And,
but it's nice. You could say he retweets it. It's nice. You old.
Oh, he message back.
In DM himself, you know the check.
Speaking of Wesley Snipes, again, another talent that failed to ask for help. You know, he went to jail for tax evasion, which he didn't even know about.
Wow. Yeah.
Because he was earning money and wasn't paying the taxes on it because he didn't have a financial team that were handling his millions. So he went to jail for that.
Wow.
Just into my point.
Yes.
Wow. So you date town. You know who is who. Yeah. You know who are the movers and the shakers.
Yeah.
You know who are the ones who appear that this guy, hey, blah, blah, blah. Put humility first and say, me, Obi Amponsa, this is what I'm good at. If you leave me in this corner 24/7, I will kill him. But bro, shine light on my top. How we go do him?
Yeah.
This, that. Same for the musicians, same for the producers, same for the dance. I always ask people that Ghanaians, they dance. You go on TikTok and everybody, how is it you calling cash out?
Monetizing it.
How are you allowing cash out? Charlie, 600 billion zillion views. Congrats. But you still they mix Gary afternoon time, sister.
Bro, but Gary no bad to make it.
Oh no. I beg you. Don't let's take patriotism. No. Gary is okay once in a while.
Bro, Gary, ice cream.
Gary they go down.
Gary they go down. Everybody they chop Gary. But bro, you where you dey here right now, you they wear Gary. You want wear Gary t-shirt. If I say for the next 1 week, me and you, they come do Gary 3 times. You don't go chop again. You don't go chop again.
Anyway.
Be very go face.
Yeah.
you get my point. We are so good at creating, but we are not humble enough to say this is where my creativity ends, and I need a hand to take it. I believe the Nigerians have crossed that bridge. Yeah. You understand? You
and
think Davido is a marketing genius?
That bridge is crossed.
You think Wizkid? You think Wizkid is a financial analyst?
No.
You think Burna Boy finish rocking stages, goes to open Excel, and then balances his books?
No. Basket's mouth is killing it out there.
Exactly, because they've been able to relinquish part of their brand to say this part of the brand they know.
Handle it.
I don't know. You understand? Sure. And I think that you guys are the ones that can set that pace, because musicians, I'll say
if you do that, if you call them, they will say talk to my manager.
They'll remember three music. They'll give us discount. They'll remember three music. They'll give us discount.
Pick an official can go, yo, what's up?
Can you imagine? CEO they call you. Yo, what's up? Yeah. Obi no day, right? Obi no day. I mean, how many times have we heard that somebody tried to reach somebody's an artist? And then the manager pick the phone. They know they get time. If you know, boy, be pick the phone. Yeah. Jay, you've been in the industry. Mm-hmm. How hard is it to reach it? How hard? Why say? Let's say telco boss, marketing head CEO. We want to engage Obi for this our Christmas show. Your friend, no, because of comedy and social media are so big that somebody has your phone. 3, 5, 6 people have to pass phone before MTN CEO can reach you for conversation. Are you not selling your destiny short?
Yeah, but I mean that doesn't take away the fact that people shouldn't.
Protocols.
Yeah, you know.
The right protocols.
Yes.
Protocols, yes.
So I'm saying you have somebody to receive your calls. That person should
have the etiquette,
exactly,
everything, and have the knowledge, so that even if you are not available, so we want to call him about an engagement, so I can take some basic information
out.
So. As for the money, I'll discuss with him and we'll get back to you. Then even the person who called you, where he has put you on the pedestal, the money bracket you did, it's different. You understand? Yeah. And all those minute things add to your brand. So the comedy is the icing on the cake. Build the cake. Let the cake day. Then they say, oh, icing come. Then you go jump. But right now we are hawking the icing.
I think Ghanaians are very angry with talent, if you ask me. I mean, this matter, we have to really address it. Yeah. I think
and it cuts across everything.
No, not Ghanaians per se. It's, industry is very angry with talent. And this is one of the reasons why.
Explain.
Yeah, this is one of the reasons why we are. I think we are where we. All of us are where we are, and complaining bitterly about how maybe the Ministry of Tourism government is not backing us, and fans are not giving us that much support, and we're always praising other countries, because I think that there's a certain slight, quiet, brewing tension between both parties where. a lot of industry folks are falling out of conversations like interest with their talent. So talents are now being forced to take on the jobs, themselves. And unfortunately, because talent is so, I'm also a talent. So I feel the pain of where it's coming from. But now the question is, so how do we resolve this thing? But anyway, Lenny, you're going to say something.
Yes.
Because I want to ask them how much they charge.
So
then they keep talking.
I should keep talking. Yeah. Okay. So we know that comedy is usually an escape for the comedian himself, right? Because you have things that you're battling with within, right? And so in that way, you've managed to transform that to be able to make people laugh, and then by extension make your own self laugh as well, right? What are some of the things you do to make sure that you get over the anxiety or the worry before you even do a stage performance?
Wow. Well, I've never thought of.
No, but some of the things you do to curb your anxiety before you go on stage, is that what you are saying?
Yes, and I mean, you know that being on stage, everything comes to play.
Yeah.
Your intellect, your mental health, your physical health, your demeanor, posture, all of those things.
They are too good. Yeah,
No,
Hey,
let me tell you something.
I'm just kidding. I'm just like
on 24th December 2019, I went on December to Remember, CTFM show.
Yeah.
Killed it. And then I mentioned Mahama. That's something about Mahama. And then the backlash started on 25th. And then I had 1,000 laughs on 26th. People, there were people texting me, where am I? They want to beat me. But I had a show.
Yeah, it was that bad.
I had a show.
It was that bad. I think I had to come out to apologize.
Yeah, I had to apologize. George Quay was like, yo, they can't do anything. Later, he was like, yo, just say you are sorry or something. Because he was billing me for the 1,000 laughs. They were calling for my head. They were calling for me to be cancelled on that show. But I wasn't cancelled, but I wasn't in the right state of mind. Because to me, I was like, I'm just trying to make people happy. And
but you see how much power you have.
Yeah.
If this is something negative and people want to kill you, that's the same way if it was positive, people would want to exalt you.
True. That's what I realized. Actually, I had never trended on Twitter before. And all of a sudden, I was trending on Twitter because of that joke. And I realized, okay, there are people following. You understand? And so on the night of the 1,000 laughs, I wasn't myself.
Wow.
I would have needed a psychologist or something to talk to me before I went on stage. But again, I do not know nobody. It was just me doing my thing. And so I went on stage and was delivering jokes. But I felt like I wasn't there. Because ideally, usually when I'm cracking jokes and I see you laughing, I enjoy the jokes too so much that sometimes you see me laughing at the jokes with you guys. You understand? And so on that day, I was just like a poet. I wasn't expecting reactions. I was just saying, okay, not to belittle poetry. I wasn't expecting laughs. I was just going at it like whatever happens, I've been built. So let me, and I didn't feel it. I didn't feel my performance. But people said they enjoyed me, but mentally, I wasn't there.
Yeah.
You understand? That anxiety, I was overwatched with that. But it took DKB calling me, then asking that what do I intend to do with all these backlashes. And I told him, I want to quit comedy in Ghana and go to SA and then maybe pursue my master's, okay? And while I'm doing that, I start as an underground comedian there, because I don't know why I was being...
It was a heavy hit, huh?
It hit me. It really. I was sitting in Kaswa crying. I was like, why? Crying, pick the boxer to clean my face and all. I was
Charlie guy. Name with help.
Lexi wanted to answer that as well.
Yeah. So no, but I'm just saying that there are times that you need people to talk to you. Sometimes your friends think you've gotten there, so you don't need that. Friends that used to motivate you stop when they realize you are doing your stuff. Like, oh, but you're fine. You're just okay. But we need that. It took DKB to get me back into comedy. He called me and said, so what you go do? I tell him. He said, oh, you see that that term, you be, okay, pussycat. You get me? You be cat. Yeah, that DKB will tell you that, this be the time for go on. This be the time for do more. the time now. Attention day, you're talking.
Oh,
shout out to
KB, big up.
Make I looking headsets for
because like, yo, man, this is the time you are. And then Sokre Safo also called me that, what do I intend doing with this? I should turn the lemons into lemonade or something. So he gave me Snap Cinema to do a show about my predicament. And I was able to come up with political refugee.
Okay.
Which also sold that and gave me money. You get me? Yes. So if the right people talk to you, if the right people approach you and then advise you with regards to stuff in the industry, it helps the young creative.
Yeah. Shout out to DKB.
It's lacking.
For going head to head.
Looking at their heads. That's a good plan.
DK, no, he's my very good friend.
He's a tough guy. He's a tough guy, and people don't like him because he's tough.
He head fee hard sometimes, but normal.
He fights with women, but it's fine. Just
DKB.
Okay.
So with me, I don't know if it falls within the anxiety thing, but I was on 1,000 Laughs like back to back. And I got a standing ovation, so me, I thought like I was okay. Not knowing the Nigerians who come here to always perform. For the past few times I've been, or they realize that no, I'm the guy who always like carries the night. So one time I was booked for the show, and I heard one of the Nigerians asking the guy taking care of the backstage that Charlie Lexi perform.
Oops.
And I when I turned, it was one of the big guys. And that time now...
Name we fell there.
Yes, that time now, like, it's not... Kenny Black. I don't know what came over me. I couldn't put my thoughts together. I'm like... Hey.
Anxiety.
And I walked on stage. I greeted... with my craft, I was supposed to execute it with a chair. So I went with the chair. I greeted. I bowed down my head. I was lifting it again just to continue my joke. All I could see was smoke.
Wow.
Blank.
Oh.
Yes, I could see colors. I could see people were wearing outfits. I just couldn't see their heads.
Panic attack.
Then I went down again. I greeted them. Good evening once again. I greeted them for like 3-4 times.
Wow.
And at some point, you could clearly see that they were asking.
You
could hear the voices.
Tell us a joke.
What's happening?
This is not business from abroad. So it was my manager who was on the side of the stage, saw what was happening, and screamed at me. And it snapped me out of whatever. Because I would have been there for like the 30 minutes that I was built to perform. Just be greeting them. First of all, I greet the president.
You greet her, the cleaner, the guy outside.
Yes, so like, I don't know. For some reason, we just get over it. No professional
grooming or
anything. We just
that is lacking.
So with what the two of you have said, do you think there's a need for a psychologist backstage?
There is.
Or a counselor backstage, just
every
helping
event,
to make sure that...
I don't know how it's done in the Western culture, but I think we should have...
Let me give shout-outs to my manager then.
Yeah,
Daniel Lato. We are not really...
working together anymore, but he helped. And so, you. Sorry, I missed you.
I was asking that. Do you think that you need a psychologist before you go on? Yeah. It could be immediately backstage, immediately before you go on, or do you think you need it a day before, or do you think you need it throughout the process of preparation? Because I know that when you're getting ready for like a comedy show, like what you have this evening, Took You to Be Mute, when you're getting ready for it, it takes a lot. It drains you a lot. Yeah. It takes a lot of brain power because as much as people think it's stand-up comedy, what some people don't know is you actually write it and then you go over it and you memorize it, right? So do you think in the process of your preparations to get over the anxiety, to get over you not feeling up to standard or up to point, do you think there's a need of a psychologist?
Yeah, there is.
We need
there
it
is
badly.
Like, let me say something. The truth is that you do not need a psychologist just for that show.
Every time.
You need him or her in your career, because there are times that after you are done performing on stage and you come home, there's this loneliness that grips you.
It actually feels like
after the pageantry, everything on stage, you killing it, people are laughing and all that, and you come back to your corner. It's so lonely. And there are people that you need to talk to. There are times that you feel like you are inadequate. You feel like you are doing it, but what is happening? It's not reflecting. Family is asking for money. They see you on TV. You know, they see you on radio, friends say, yo, Charlie, you are making, as for you there. When they see you,
as for you,
there, you're okay. There are times that we enter into these phases, and these are times that you need these people. But now we rely more on friends because psychologists also charge. Yeah. You understand? Yes, and usually you cannot meet their charges. But when you have like a friendly one that you invite to your shows, one that like you make him or her person, or not Councillor Lutrod.
Take my number.
If you go to the press where you call as a councillor and the press,
something else. I mean,
before, Obi, I remember when COVID came. I would say that moment was one of the darkest times. I would ever recollect in my life. Like, it was really dark, and it's funny how we're all suffering. We're indoor, but people will actually call you and expect you to
take care of them.
Like, take care of them.
Yeah.
If you want you to say something for them to be happy. Nobody actually cares about wherever you find yourself, whether you're even in the rightful state of mind. Everybody is actually taking from you. From you. People coming into your DM. I have kidney issues. Like, once we are all locked, I need this, I need that, Tell me a joke. My girlfriend, me down pay day when we are bored. Charlie, if we talk something, make we laugh. Charlie, you get those.
But do you charge for things like that? Because I think
wait. We are coming to the money. I'm saying, don't spoil it all.
Okay, sorry for jumping.
That's the peak of my question. Don't go to money. Wait. Okay. Now, in recent times, we've seen a lot of skits, pop up online, and this guy is been on a rise with that. Sabinus, he's been on a rise with that and feeding off an audience. Skits, have they become a threat to the business of stand-up comedy in any way?
Of stand-up comedy,
skit is another branch of comedy. Comedy has wings. We have those who do the slapstick, comic acting. That's where the skit makers also fall, and we the stand-up comedians. So it has no.
In fact, there are TikTokers who are very funny on their TikTok, but if you give them a mic to perform to you right now, they will fumble. So everybody has where they excel at. Jacqueline Mensah is top notch with her TikTok stuff. Other, Time GH, SDK does a lot of very funny and insightful skits. Jeffrey Notte. So there are ones that do skits. SDK tried stand up one day. He came to Snap Cinema. He stood on the stage for about 2 minutes. He hasn't said. He hasn't said anything. He said play my skit. You understand? So everybody has a field, and I don't believe that. When people are also getting laughs, it's a competition. No. I believe it broadens the industry. It makes you very marketable. Like, people are, because you can't block people from looking at memes and laughing. There are a lot of memes that people watch now and they feel like I don't need to even go for a comedy show. My show is on TikTok and Twitter. Like, like recently I had fun with reading Kiddy's tweets. It was dope. It was very nice. And rest assured, we are going to talk about him. So nice.
Talking about being marketable, which you just mentioned, right? Typically, we see a lot of Nigerian comedian counterparts come into the country to do comedy, where they are headliners and all of that. If you are going to be on those shows, they have them be headliners. Okay. Is there a reason, being in the industry, is there a reason? I know Jacinta has had a comedy show, not like a headlining comedy show, but she's been on a comedy show in Nigeria before. But is there a reason we can't export our Ghanaian comedians, as many as possible, to go into that Nigerian market, as much as they come into our market?
Yeah. It comes back to connect. It comes back to connect. It always does. Because, like we have been saying, my reach is just here. I can reach this far. So if Nabil Alassan of Event Factory connected me to Basket Mouth in 2019 for a lot of the Rips Comedy Festival. And so I had a chance to go with Jacinta to perform. And it's like the largest audience I've performed to at Echo Hotel. Like, the place everywhere was packed to capacity.
Yeah.
And it was because Nabil recommended me to Basket Mouth. He didn't know me. Yeah. He asked for a comedian in Ghana. You understand? Like they worked together on and so after that show, Ike Osakiodua, the one who
hosted the show.
Yeah. He said he'll give me another show, African Magic Nights on DSTV. And then in January, so I went to Nigeria in September. January, I
hope you're calculating, Senor. I
had to go again with Jacinta for that show. And so you realize that when the little push is given us, see, in May, my own money and a few other people's money, not to sound like a braggart or like an egoistic comedian, I paid to go to South Africa, but the decision was mine to go to South Africa and survey the terrain of comedy there in May. And then when I went, I realized we are just like taking bombs in Ghana. As like in Africa, we are ready for Africa. Because when I went there, the guys are, brother, you are funny, brother. Brother. Obi. You should see the videos. Like it was fun moments for me there. And some people, there was a random comedian who saw me there and thought he should build me for a show in Rwanda, which we are still working on. So I'm just saying that sometimes the push may not come, but if you're able to invest in yourself and then make these moves, you get to realize that there are opportunities out there that you can you can take, but it comes back to money, and investing in yourself. Yeah.
Okay, so but even Nigerian comedy dominating in Ghana here, it took another Nigerian here in Ghana to make it like big here. So he started organizing shows.
Okay, I think we have to speak up a bit because
he started importing like his own people. So I feel like just Obi said, it took Nabil's Connect in Nigeria to plug Obi on a show in Nigeria. I've been to Nigeria, and it is because of the love Acapella has for me. He saw me perform one time in Ghana, and when Flash Africa then was still, they asked him his top 5 comedians in Africa. He said I was number 3. Yes, and he took me to Nigeria to perform. And so I can imagine if there was even a Ghanaian there who has solidified his position in the Nigerian market, and maybe starts organizing comedy shows or has plugs on some of these big comedy shows in Nigeria, and maybe every year tries to export about 2 comedians from Ghana.
I think it's the gate. You need a gateway. You need somebody there, because I mean, just as how I mean, Nigeria needs to say a big thank you to Yola Yuade, for being one of the people who had also given them an opportunity to to be on our platforms. And I think it's true what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, if we had Kevin Ansa, name please, it's just somebody the name I've coined up, being running the biggest agency in Nigeria and was making Ghanaian headline artists on their platform, it would have given Ghana to a major step.
That's why I supported Sarkodie partially on when he said, okay, if Ghanaians other people were also to plug themselves at certain areas outside Ghana, at least it will help the artists here in Ghana have access to certain places. Because if a Nigerian gets access to this 3 music, I'm telling you, he will force his way to create room for Nigerian music or something to dominate here.
Yeah, because there's been a lack. You realize there's been a lack in progress, especially I can speak for comedy. DKB went to Big Brother House, and he was tagged a comedian. That was like which year? 2000.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
12, 11, thereabout. Yeah.
Is it 11 or 12?
Yeah.
Like
2011 or 12, thereabout.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is that there's been a period that's his has all been connections as well. I think he even went for a show in Uganda MTV something during those days. So now look at the lack. That like if it was 2011, we're in 2022 now. How many of our comedians have been able to go to other countries in Africa to perform? Yeah, you understand. We are stuck here on our bosses. But I think if we decide to move out, the truth is that we do not have the know-how, And there's this man that.
Well, see, I'm told Sammy B. We have to give credit to Sammy B as well. He's a comedian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there have been big men to Fritz Bafo,
Fritz
Tony Annan, Forsen. Yeah.
Alibaba actually looks up to Fritz Bafo.
Yes. So there have been moments like that. I feel like if you approach the right people, for example, when I was organizing my show last year, I was free. I was stuck. Basically, I didn't know where else to turn to for money. In my mind, I was like, I have friends, so they could give me money to support it. And then I talked to one guy, and he said, okay, so I said I needed money. And he's like, okay, so what? I was like, so what? Say, you are my friend, give me money. And then I spoke with Lexi and a couple of friends, and they were like, Kweku, there are investors around. When you go to them with a logic plan and a good plan that suggests that they would gain their money back,
they would
and then get some profit. Maybe profit on it, they would be ready to invest. I took that advice, talked to one boss, and that was it. He financed the whole show, and after the show, I gave him back his money.
Wow.
Exactly. That's what I realized.
You are giving some shout out to some doctor and some woman.
Mr.
Razak. Mr. Razak.
He mentioned the man's name.
And he has held us down.
He would call you. He would call you like, what do you need for the program? Aside, he's not just the random.
Buy tickets,
he's not the random comedy fan who will just talk about it. You guys are doing good. Sometimes you even perform to an ambassador and he'll tell you, you go far. Meanwhile, you give visa.
Oh, that's the punch there. If you don't give me visa, how can I go far?
But they'll tell you go far, you go far.
I want to say good morning to the former French ambassador.
Oh, that woman. Yeah.
Or the woman for Nipa.
I know, right? So Mr. Razak, I feel like he's a Ghanaian with a Nigerian mentality. Like, a Nigerian will watch you perform and come and throw cash at you for appreciating. I was in Nigeria performing on a cappella show. A senator will come backstage and say, take 2 million naira. When you go talk about me, let people know I'm around.
Yeah, that's true. I've experienced that.
It's not just telling you that, oh, you are good. They will just see Obi doing a show.
So how is this the one coming up tonight?
Well, I took a loan as usual, but nobody actually calling to say, oh, let me just hold you down with this amount of money because I feel like you are doing something great, and it's just you go far. The random you go far from the ambassadors and but we still have to work regardless. I think maybe I've not given people enough reason to throw in the cash. So the more I put in the work,
what has gone into this evening's event?
A lot.
So how do you guys prepare it? Like, I want to understand, like, how do you prepare it for this evening? Like, have you been noting down the flow?
Yeah.
How I want to understand how it is like.
Yeah. So, like, as I said, we have a comedy club.
So admirable.
You every week you have to come with new materials. Yeah. So out of the materials you've accumulated over the time, like you pick the best out of it. Yeah. Then this one day. It is so a lot of the time comedy specials you have a theme, so the topics should rather fall in line with the theme for the night. So with mine, like too cute to be me because I'm short. Sorry to if you stay. So I feel like all the jokes that I will be talking about will be coming from the perspective of a short man, how he sees life. So people who don't really understand the president, maybe if you come and listen to me,
let me say, there was a time I went to a club. They were playing the song. You know, these DJs now, they reduce the thing for us to sing. And then there was this part, the song was like, Ole cool, and then he reduces, and Lex was like, tell me something I know if you do. I said, dude, there are lots of things you know if you do. You can't reach the shelf. I mean, you need a ladder to climb a shelf. And I said, no, you are not allowed to sing.
You shouldn't be asking that question.
You should be singing down flat.
I can reach orgasm.
I can reach orgasm. So I mean, a lot of work has gone into this event.
Yes.
Are you sold out already?
Almost. Ghanaians will never give you a reason to say sold out. Like for you to say sold out, somebody will just punch in the short.
Will there be ticket at the gate?
And they'll go back and say, let us frustrate you more. Then last minute they'll start calling you back. Like we've sold quite a good number of tickets, and they've showed me love. and I understand them, because a country that they'll tell you lose your SIM card if you don't go and register, and they'll wait till last minute, and when the government says, okay, we are extending the date, then they'll go back home and wait for the government to hit it.
I'm going to register my phone.
You get it? So a SIM card that is of so much value to them, they'll wait till last minute.
Yeah. Where do we get tickets from?
Yeah, you can get tickets at the National Theatre.
Okay.
As we speak, you can go to their reception and get your tickets. And Plus FM front desk at West Hills.
Okay.
You can go there, get yourself a ticket.
How much are we looking
It's
at?
going for 100 Ghana cedis. Flat rate, but some people requested for VIP, because the VIP, I just wanted to invite some big men, and I will not sell any space within that VIP. But some people still insisted I do VIP, so we made some limited seat for those interested. So if you are really, really interested, you call this number so that you can make I can't.
Please, he's searching for the number.
So you call this number 0541 909315 0541 909315, and in the comfort of your home or office, wherever you find yourself, you don't want to come and queue buying the ticket at the gate. You can use the short code *928 *528 hash *928 *528 and you can just buy it. A QR code will be sent to you. That's your tickets to the event.
Well, I know it's going
to be. Ask for the.
Yes, that's I'm checking my time. 3 minutes to go. I want to sip it up for like 1 minute.
When they say put the
microphone. But I've always admired how you guys, build, and you tell the stories, in a certain manner that it's as if it looks like you are just remembering something and just saying it, but it's been rehearsed.
There's times I go like.
You said, and the audience will throw in the answer we want.
We know what you are talking about.
Do you have anything to remind you in case you forget your lines?
Yeah, your previous line. Because usually we transition in jokes. Okay, so if maybe I'm talking about Ghana card, and the next joke I'm going to talk about is about food. You understand? I need to find a way to seamlessly.
So what if you've forgotten your next topic?
Hey, then you go to your next. That is why you see the comedian say, so give it up for yourself. You guys are doing wonderful. Oh, is this real? I see you.
You see me. The next time I meet you anywhere, you say you see me now. You don't
see me. You go pick water, like say we
drink water.
Calculation.
It's serious. It's crazy. It's crazy.
But that's the craftsmanship, right?
Yeah, you guys are
well done.
You guys are.
Give it up for yourself.
I see you, Jay Foley.
I remember to thank our sponsors.
No, but I had a good time at the last one. I really had a good time.
I had no idea you were coming. Somebody said you come. But you were in nose mask.
Can you use another word than come?
Okay.
For two guys.
Okay, sorry. I didn't know you show up.
Yeah, that's better. Way better.
I said, I'll come. I came.
And conquered.
I came and conquered. Well, so that's my final question. How much does it cost to book a Ghanaian comedian?
So tonight's show.
Yes, if I was doing the show and I was booking you to come.
Yeah, okay.
How much would
I have to pay you?
Well, look at where the dollar is right now.
Right.
Guys, we work with the dollar now.
What is the range?
But do you charge in dollars?
No, but we add this.
It's against
when you mention figures in dollars, the organizer feels like
even if it's $1,
like
$1.
And that amount, is it worth what you do?
Well, we are managing.
It's better than before.
It's a growing process. We do not want to get too far ahead of ourselves. We understand the economic situations we are in. That's why I say that when you're able to talk things out with an event organizer and come to agreeable terms, it's fair. You understand? You agree from that organizer's perspective. He also agrees from your perspective, and you guys. It fosters long-lasting relationships. You understand? So it doesn't just end there. Somebody goes like, Charlie, this one I won't give you 5K. I know that's not your value.
Yeah,
you understand. I know you are 20 to 30K. That's your value, but please, I will sort you out in the next event. It makes sense.
Or maybe I get another gig B.
Yeah,
that one.
With that one, the
investors
money
bunch. So I beg.
Yeah, and there are ones that will just do you in. The event organizers will just. Yeah, there are a lot who owe us.
Name withheld.
Yeah,
we don't
Maki, the organizer of RT.
These guys.
He owes us 1,000 cedis each.
One person. He's doing.
We have
putting on AC. He's doing.
Anytime we call back for the money, he says he's sick.
I came when I got.
He's our friend. Everywhere we go, we say it. And he sees it. Somebody will send this one to him. And he'll be like, hey, this boy is fine. I don't go pay.
You know the funny thing? You meet. You will be the first person to
remind you. You are the only one.
I lost your number. Not this. Take him. You will start punching first 4 figures,
then your number
pops.
I will tell you.
Save your name.
He's here for do the stand-up comedy song.
We have to go. Thank you so much. I wish you all the best this evening. National Theatre time.
At 7 p.m.
7 p.m. Yes, 7 p.m.
So
please.
it's today. It's today,
Yes.
right? Tonight.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you close from work, I want to advise you go back home.
Yeah,
Just fold your
traffic,
sleeves
and
if
come
you're a lady,
by.
just take off your
wig,
your wig or something. Then you walk in.
Our time is up. It's been a good week. End on the note with Obi and Lexi and Lenny. Cyril, anything you want to push in there? We've got 1 second left.
Shall I go check out my people them show?
Yeah.
That'd be my word. 7 o'clock.
My YouTube
National
channel
Theatre.
too is
Hot Stick
Obi
channel.
Amponsan channel. Popular Bad Broke is there. Go check it out. One of the best specials you'd ever watch.
I think you were on. You did George Quay's show, the Valentine show.
Yeah, we are working, bro.
Charlie, all right, time's up. We have to go enjoy the rest of the day. And my name is Jay.
Have a great weekend.